We're experimenting with a new setup. Usually we record everything over a online streaming service that we pay for, but now we because of the multiple camera setup, we're using a laptop and using free OBS software. And I'm looking at it, and the feeds are up and the audio levels are moving. So our backup just went out. So if you're listening this far and there's weird audio issues, we're probably going to post it anyway. So now you know why.
Send it.
We're using a new setup to record everything, and our backup just went out. So
welcome to Whiskey and Whitetails, the show for those that hunt with a passion and drink with a purpose. I'm Gus.
I'm Matt.
And we are coming to you live from Pennsylvania, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, specifically at the Great American Outdoor Show, brought to you by the National Rifle Association. We have a great episode for you this week. Sat down and hung out with Chuck from the Whitetail Distraction Podcast, here hanging out with us in Harrisburg. All this, of course, made possible by our Patreon and Waypoint Network and all of you that listen and support us. So thank you for that. But who else helped make this possible?
Yep. So this will be a quick read because we didn't actually prepare anything. But Mint Mobile, just so you know, they're now doing eSIMs. So I just got a new iPhone 15, and that does not have a physical SIM anymore. And the eSIM was crazy. Instead of waiting for a SIM card to come in the mail, you can literally just go to the Mint Mobile app, open it up, and select new SIM card, change new phone, whatever. And you get that eSIM. So there are several different benefits to the eSIM, but one of them is the ease of activation. But my favorite is I can now run 2 phone numbers from my phone. So as an eSIM, I can have my actual phone number, and then we have the CWE coming up, and we're going to have a booth where you can come in and tell your favorite hunting story, and I'm going to have you send us pictures or videos of the hunting story. And so I can add that eSIM, that separate number, to my own phone. So instead of us having to worry about a separate phone, you can just straight text to my phone, and then I'll delete the number so none of you have my phone number.
Awesome.
So mintmobile.com/whiskey. You can get in there, and they're still doing $15 a month. I can't explain to you how amazing that is. I have no issues with phone service outside of bumfuck Kentucky. But the rest of the world, great service. There's been even times recently where people didn't have service, and I did. $15 a month. I don't know how you aren't getting in on that. It's such a crazy good deal. We're also brought to you this week by Vantage Point Archery. As you know, we love them. We shoot them. The new Omega broadheads, we're getting ready to both get a set, and we will be exploring that world. But the amazing part about it is the sharpening capability. You literally get a whetstone, and it's got a groove built into it. So you lay the blade down on the stone, and you just move it up and down, and you can resharpen. And these things are not going to chip. They're not going to break. You can blow through shoulders, bones. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
Kill it.
Huge part of the reason we're even here at the Great American Outdoor Show this
100%.
week is to support those guys at Vantage Point Archery and Vantage Point Armory. We're hanging out with them, helping them at their booth this weekend, mingling, getting to know folks, and the number of stories that we have heard of folks using the Omega broadheads, even their other broadheads, for 20, 30, 60
those guys
shots.
killed 60 hogs with one broadhead.
And just resharpening.
I mean, what is that?
These are the kind of broadheads you can pass down to kids. You know,
it's family heirloom.
It's wild.
You're going to see them in antique stores at one day. But also Vantage Point Armory is another section of it. We've never talked about that before, but they're running an awesome compensator for your gun. It has a 30% decrease on recoil.
Yep.
And so if you were to do that to, say, a Glock 19, you're going to have to buy a slide and a barrel made for that compensation. Mm-hmm. This thing is literally, it clips right into the rail that's on there. It's $150. If you buy a slide and a barrel, you're looking $400 to $700, depending on what you want. So for $150, you can literally get this compensator. They make it for almost anything. And if you have a gun they don't make it for, you send them an email and they'll make it for you. It may take a little bit of time.
They'll add it to their list. They're constantly growing what they provide. So hope you enjoyed the show. We had a great time talking with Chuck, talking about the Great American Outdoor Show, talking about some saddle hunting, all kinds of cool stuff.
We're also brought to you by the Jasper. So downtown Charleston, amazing place to live. The views like none other.
Absolutely
we will be
beautiful.
there all day on Thursday recording a bunch of podcasts you guys are going to love, a bunch of CWE guests.
Yep.
We're there all day recording. They were so generous and genuine. They gave us one of their suites to record in. We're super pumped and excited about that. And if you got more money than we do, the Jasper is the place for you to go. And I'm sorry if you're listening, Jasper. I know you don't like it when I say that. But yeah, great episode. And I hope you guys enjoy.
Enjoy the show.
Cheers. Does that start?
Yes, start recording the top one.
Start streaming. Gotcha. All right.
Yeah. I can't even read.
It's been a long day.
Not surprised.
So have we started?
Yeah, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. We're sitting here hanging out after a long day. I almost said SHOT Show. The NRA Great American Outdoors. We all got our Trump's hats signed today.
Wouldn't that be something?
And for the record, I don't think did you go?
I did not.
Yeah, none of us went.
No.
Yeah.
We all bailed out before it even started.
That's true. It's right, because it started at 5, right?
Correct.
Isn't that crazy that they lined up
At 3.
Nuts? And they said you can't line up before 12:30. And there were people like,
Oh, that's right. They let them in at 3.
you let them in at 3. So people
Yeah.
at 12:30, people were lined up to watch Trump speak at 5.
Yep.
Wild.
That's some dedication.
That's wild.
And that is not a small building. And there were people wrapped around.
And we were, while Gus was watching it, and the line like doubled back on itself. So it looked like a line. I don't know how to explain it to somebody. Like if you think of a football stadium.
If you think of an indoor like gymnasium where they have the catwalk up top
there you go.
with the track,
Yeah, that's good.
that's what this was basically. And the entire catwalk was full of people.
Yeah. And so
Too deep.
the catwalk, too deep. So it was like you had to walk the whole catwalk and then walk it again to get back to the entrance.
Yeah. It was,
How many people you think went to, what did they do? They cap it?
They have to have, because they can only hold so many in that arena. So,
So Trump filled an arena today at a outdoor show.
I'm sure they turned people away.
I guarantee.
I would guarantee it.
They turned me away, but I was wearing a Biden 2024 hat. So.
It would have made more sense if you forgot the year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I almost did. Yeah, those who don't know, this is Chuck, aka Chuck.
Yeah.
AKA
Chuck Diesel.
Yeah.
Get it right. Remember.
What else you got? AKA
That's it.
Boot Jesus, aka you were wearing like grandpa shoes today though.
No, I was wearing Brooks.
Oh, okay. I have Brooks.
Dude, Brooks are great.
Yeah, great.
And my ankles and feet, knees still kind of felt it.
Yeah.
Dude, I told you, it's brutal in there.
It's
all cement floors.
we've done it before, and it's kind of like we just as Jeff said today, those are real men.
Yeah, I don't know if you said that or not. Maybe it may have just been my hearing.
Yeah.
What did the old lady that rubbed your feet down, what did she have to say about?
Good God, that took forever.
Yeah. She was pretty happy.
I got to tell you, when I was leaving Charleston, so for those who don't know, we're at the NRA Great American Outdoor Show. We're sitting down with Charles, aka Chuck Diesel, for the Whitetail Distraction Podcast. You've heard him on here before. Austin's not here because he's
in Disney.
Yeah, he's
with his kids.
He was in Florida, but I don't remember yet. So we came out to PA. We got an Airbnb together. It's just us 3 tonight. We got a couple more people coming tomorrow. But we went to, and so when I got on the plane from Charleston yesterday, or whenever that was, I wanted to get my boots cleaned. I had already had it in mind because I know they have them at the airport, and they don't in Charleston. But I was like, when we get to Charlotte, I didn't see one between gate to gate, and I was like, when we land in PA at Shirley, I didn't even look.
Atlanta's got several of them.
And so I'm a sucker for a good sales pitch. I was a salesman forever. My dad is still a salesman. Like, it's just in my family. I love a good sales pitch, and I'll let people give it to me and then be like, I really just wanted to hear your pitch, dude. I'm not interested by anything. But we walked by, and this lady, I don't even know what she said.
I don't know how she brought us over there.
She said something. She said something about my boots being dirty. And I looked and I saw her sitting down in front of a ramp that you put your feet on. And I was like, the stars aligned. And I walked right over there.
She said,
let's do it.
She said, let me clean your boots.
Yeah.
I think something like that.
Something like that, yeah. And I walked over there and I was so excited. I was like, you all day long, because I've been waiting. I wanted to get it done. So I put my foot up there, and I don't think she ruined them, but they didn't used to be that color.
She conditioned them, and it will be that way. I mean, it's no different than, if you've ever conditioned like Pear Krispies or whatnot. They turn real dark.
Yeah, my schnees do that.
And they'll come back.
Well, I've done it, but I've just never seen them that dark.
Yeah.
But then she's like, also, you can use this on knives and guns. And she's like listing all stuff. She's like, you can put it in your beard. It's good for your hair. And she's like, I rub it on my hands. And she made everybody rub it on their hands. And I'm
Except
like,
for me.
I didn't let her touch my hand.
No?
No.
Because she was massaging.
She got me at the end, though, because she shook my hand and she had it on her hand. And she's like, yeah, gotcha, bitch.
I was wearing
Sandy was.
I was wearing boots, and I knew that if I stood there any longer, I was going to get sucked in next.
Oh, yeah.
So I went looking at tiny houses.
Well, like I said, I wanted to get it done. So, and she did a great job, but I definitely got a over the pants massage.
Oh, dude.
Or over the over the boot skin massage. I got a great foot massage from her.
It looked
strong
awesome.
hands, dude, for such a small lady.
Strong hands.
Yeah, she had a good grip.
So that old woman strength.
Yeah.
Yeah, great grip.
So you guys, welcome to Pennsylvania, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, welcome to our state of misery.
Yeah.
But what do you think? First impression, first time the Great American Outdoor Show. It's a lot to handle up front. What do you guys think? First impression.
So first impression of PA is dirty.
Okay, PA. Let's start
a lot
there.
of trash on the side of the road.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. So we're in Harrisburg, right?
Okay.
Where did you fly?
I don't really know what that means. We flew into Harrisburg.
You flew into Harrisburg.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I haven't been anywhere else.
In my opinion, Harrisburg is, other than Philadelphia, probably the armpit of our
our state capitals be like that.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Really
Harrisburg is the state capital. You'd think it'd be Philly or PA,
right? You mean
Pittsburgh?
Yeah. A lot of people do
The
think
city
that,
of man
actually.
love
People
or
think
whatever.
Philadelphia a lot. No, it's Harrisburg. This is our capital, and it's horrendous. I only come here for the show, and other than that, I don't come this way.
I've been to worse places like Djibouti. Africa is pretty bad. I'm just kidding.
I mean, you know how it is. Like a few years ago when everything hit, and these are the areas that get hit the worst.
That's what the guys at the bar last night.
That's what they were saying.
At the bar, they taught us so much. But but that's one of the things they said is like COVID killed Pennsylvania.
He said it killed a lot of small businesses around here, and a lot of people
Really bad.
that left because they were forced to no longer work anymore and shut down. Like a lot of the people have not come back.
Yeah.
So it was a double whammy. One, in the fact of it's a very liberal stronghold in this area. So like you have that on top of the COVID thing that hit at the same time. So like they really just cracked down on people. Yeah. And if you weren't just like a total rebel, and even if you were, what could you do? There's nobody in this area that was going to support and keep you afloat during that time. So it got hit pretty hard. And yeah, it's never been a great area, in my opinion, but now it's a lot worse. For sure.
Yeah. The other thing that got me too is he was saying that he works for the city and like the water department. He's telling me that the water here is worse than Flint, Michigan. I was like, I don't know. Yeah. But at the show today, I asked that woman there's a woman that worked that I assume she lives close by, and I asked her, and she's like, I would never drink the water here.
Man, I drank the water first thing I got here.
Yeah.
I must be I'm a Pennsylvanian and Union.
Is that what they call
it? If you think about it, though,
is that where Yins comes from? Pennsylvanians.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's where it came from.
It could be.
I don't like
what are Yins doing? Pennsylvanians. Yeah, it makes sense.
That's probably where it came from.
Good point. It's spelled different though.
You know what else I learned last night? Just kidding.
God.
Fucking see my eyes like
what is that Neanderthal thing?
Oh yeah, do not.
Yeah, no, we're not talking that.
I won't.
Yeah, no. But as far as like the state of Harrisburg right now, if you think about Columbia, right? We spent some time in Columbia.
It's kind of
if Columbia, but if Columbia had a 2-year, 1.5-year period where the economic like baseline was ripped out from underneath it,
that's so
Columbia would the same thing would happen.
Yeah.
I think that would probably be the case in most. Yeah, because this is a good sized town, but it's obviously not New York or Houston or Boston, right?
No,
there's no traffic, but it's a bigger town than I thought it was.
It's big enough to get hit pretty negatively by an economic situation like that and have a hard time bouncing back. I guess is my point.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, if you took the drive back to like where I live, you would see some really, really beautiful country across Pennsylvania. I mean, big rolling hills, some really gorgeous parts of the state that's not here. So, hashtag not my capital.
Okay.
People are nice though. Like I've not met a person that was.
Everybody's very friendly.
That's surprising as well.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Really?
Yeah, there's not really a whole lot of hospitality.
We also haven't been a lot of places.
Yeah, so. True. And you're at the show most of the time. So those are outdoors.
Everybody's happy.
Yeah, that's true.
We're all good people for the most part.
We went to the bar and as soon as we sat down, they were like, "You here for the show?" And Gus was like, "Is it that obvious?" And she's like, "This is a neighborhood bar and I've never seen you before."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh,
yeah, that's typical."
Yeah. It anyways,
the show though.
The show.
Yeah.
Wild.
So.
I've never been to an outdoor show. I've never been to any show like that.
Yeah.
Like Seaweed was always, I think, probably the biggest show I've ever been to.
Yeah. So the South Carolina has the Carolina Sportsman's Classic.
It's nowhere near this.
I mean, the vendor area for the Sportsman Classic
is one of those rooms.
Could fit in one room.
Yeah. They have a couple of rooms that are put together, but I mean, honestly, it's just not the same caliber, man. I've never been in one place with this many products, goods, services that are available and at your fingertips to talk to people, to touch products. I mean, it's just, and it's everything, right? Like usually you go to a big show and it's like, well, we have a huge venue here. You know, maybe it's a convention, you know, floor, right? And maybe it's I don't know. I don't know how to give a description in terms of size to help people understand. Like, you think about the floor, like remember your high school gym, right? They move did your bleachers slide out to the side, right? So imagine like 6 of those like put together. It's a good size, right?
I think it's like 3 Walmarts.
I think it's bigger than that.
Yeah, bigger than that.
Yeah, no, I think in terms of total space, I think 4 to 5 like Costco's.
Yeah,
Now the thing that makes it seem even bigger is that the complex is so big that they're not connected directly. You have to walk.
You got to travel away
a quarter mile, half mile to get from shooting sports over to where the exhibit where all of the taxidermy and outfitters are.
It's almost like they built a massive venue and then they were like, "Shit, we need to go bigger," and they built another one.
We need another space for this.
And they're like, "Surely this is enough." And then they built an arena on top of it all.
Yeah, there's like an arena, there's an ag. So it's clear this is used for these kind of events all the time. But what I was going to say was usually you go to a show like this and like a corner of a big room is like 50. Those 50 vendors are your archery section.
Yep.
Right? How many vendors are in the archery section alone here? Like,
dude, I mean, think about it. There's probably like 6 rows, I would say, and then there's the walls the whole way around, right? And then there's probably like 6 rows where it's just people back to back. So 50 to 60,
just for
probably
archery.
more.
And here's the kicker. If you walk into some of the other vendor areas, there are companies that could have just as easily fit
100%
in archery. They just they run out of space.
It's more expensive than archery.
We looked it up. It was 1,100.
The cost
and the demand is very high. So if you're not one of the people that are on there quick, and I think also if you've been in that hall, like you get an option first to keep your spot.
Most certainly, I imagine.
Before someone else can just come in and take it. That way they'd have people bouncing all over the place. So while you're at the vendors, like if you're at the show now, a lot of the vendors are in about the same area every single year. So it's nice for someone like me that returns every year to be like, okay, someone's usually over here.
Yeah.
You know, they're over here. But yeah, the demand for that hall is so high. Yeah. And the price tag is definitely higher as well. Yeah.
So far, my least favorite of all of them, and we're here to help and hang out with Vantage Point. They have their archery and their armory booths. So the Vantage Point armory booth is in the shooting sports hall. When they say hall, it's a ginormous,
a Costco.
That's a Costco.
That's a Costco
full of guns. Costco full of guns. Any gun you want to buy, it's
there's a huge NRA booth as soon as you walk through, and then it's it's enormous. That hall is my least favorite so far. Aside from Vantage Point, like that's why we're here to hang out with these and help with these guys. It's so busy and there's so many people and it's so packed with just a lot of just repetitive shit, man. It's a lot of stuff.
I mean, there's a whole carnival in there, right? Like there's all that whole wall of just food trucks and the other side,
elephant ears.
It's almost as if they took like. Well, and they did. I imagined. Where do they have the state fair in Pennsylvania?
Probably there.
I don't know if there's did we have county fairs?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so a ton of county fairs.
Because it seems like they took county or not county or county fair like concessions and just stuck them all inside.
In one place.
Yeah.
That room is always to me my least favorite and where I probably spend the least amount of time because like you said, you can kind of get lost in there pretty quick and there's usually the largest crowd because the parking is right outside that door. And then when you think of the overflow parking, it's across the street.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to walk literally almost a mile from the parking garage where they bring you. If you don't get there early enough to get a parking spot, you walk about a mile just to get in that place. And typically, it's February, Pennsylvania. It's pretty cold. We've had beautiful weather.
Yeah.
For this time of year. I was telling you guys this time last year, it was negative 15 degrees.
Yeah.
And it was unreal.
This right here is about as cold as it gets where we live.
Yeah,
it doesn't get colder than this.
That'd be wild.
There's a handful of times a year.
Yeah,
for a few days or a week,
degrees, but
it'll get in the 20 and 30s, maybe colder with wind chill, but it's very rare.
Yeah.
I I would say the wildest part of that place is the out, like when we were leaving, all the outfitters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to spend some more time there tomorrow.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I like, we know there's a ton of outfitters out there, but it's like to fathom, again, we're talking about a space the size of a Costco, and it's rows and rows and rows and rows of any kind of animal you want to hunt, any state, country, anything you want to do.
Hundreds
of them. And you can go find a guide, and they're
all over the world.
And what's wild is like that one booth with the elephant. You know, I've never been that close to an elephant head before. It's wild. It's massive.
Yeah.
But it's also like the amount of money in that booth. There's that all over the place.
Yeah,
like,
that's
there's so much money in this
giant taxidermy booth, and it is absolutely gorgeous.
Everything the gazelles running from a wolf. That was a great. I mean, it's crazy stuff. They had 2 piebald, male and female piebald.
Yeah,
crazy.
I guarantee you, in terms of valuation, there's multiple $1 million worth of taxidermy in that hole.
Oh, for sure.
There has to be.
Yeah, dude, I bet there's.
I mean, some of those mounts are tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think the elephant cost?
That elephant,
I couldn't even imagine,
dude.
I wouldn't be surprised if they said that was $120,000.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it was 50.
It reminded me of Ace Ventura. He's like, "This is a lovely room of death."
It's a lovely room of death.
Because it's like it's all crazy looking animals. That like the elephant. I get it. I understand. I'm a hunter. I got you. But the elephant thing, there's no reason on this planet that. I mean, other than starving to death, but I don't live in Africa. So if I'm starving to death, I'm not going to. But
I'm not going to shoot.
There's no way I could kill an elephant. There's no way.
I've watched too many fucking documentaries and I know too much about how their brains work. And I just couldn't do it.
But to stand there and look at it and like I mean, they're huge, right? But to stand there and look at a head of an elephant, oh my God, dude. I can't
impressive.
It's amazing there's an animal that big. I mean, wild, dude.
It really puts you in place on like, what did dinosaurs look like?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
they look like chickens without hair.
There's a particular breed of elephant, and they live in this, I forget the area in Africa, but they're like forest elephants.
Mm-hmm.
And the documentary I watched, they were just like, there's this big opening that the elephants have created over the years by knocking down trees, I think, and just clearing out this area where they can meet and graze and socialize. But the camera crew got there before they showed up, and it's crazy watching the tree line. It's so thick you can't see the elephants until they actually break through. And so you're just watching this tree line, and then just this giant of an animal just emerges, and just one after the other until there's 50-something, 60-something of these elephants. It's just wild. They're just huge fucking animals.
Yeah.
It's just wild to see. I mean, that thing had to have been bigger than this wall. It's behind you.
Oh yeah.
Because it was the ears were fanned out. It was wild. You don't cut yourself.
It was do you want my pocket knife?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I got this for answering. Those are wondering. I got this big ass knife because we didn't fly with guns.
Yeah. I kind of thought about that last night. I text you guys like, "Hey, don't shoot me." And I'm like, "Man, they probably don't have guns anyways because they flew."
Well, I didn't see the point because I didn't think you'd be able to take it in there.
Oh, you absolutely can.
Oh, can you?
100%. It's an NRA event.
Well, because Trump was there, so I didn't.
Yeah.
Know
today, I probably would not have brought my firearm today.
Yeah.
But typically,
we didn't fly with them at all for that reason.
Yeah, they fully are like, bring them in.
Yeah, that's true. It is an NRA event.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to fly with it and then have to leave it in the truck all day and then worry about it being in the truck and then it's like I'm never gonna wear it.
I don't have mine because I let my carry permit lapse. So
What's the carry permit?
Oh wait, it's getting recorded. Dang it.
You mean your Constitution?
Yeah.
That's your right as an American. All right.
It's your right and your responsibility.
You know what's funny about that room though, with all the outfitters and whatnot? That's always been kind of actually probably my least spent time room because in all reality, I'm probably never going to book a hunt with any of them.
No.
I'm not either. I just want to go walk around and see it. And then like you, I probably won't spend much time there.
Yeah.
Come back.
It's one of them ones where you go through it the first time you're here and then you never go to it again.
I wouldn't mind going to see because I think that you could build a bucket list of things you want to do. And it's like, well, if there's a guide doing this, then that might be pretty cool to do. But I would just tell them like, they're like, how you doing today? And be like, I got $800, dude. And they'll be like, all right, well, have a nice day. Because you're not going to book anything for that cheap.
What we could do, though, is network with some places, some high-end places that want to do classes as part of their clients.
There you go.
Yeah.
You guys definitely
flies to Africa to teach a whiskey class.
Well, they're not all in Africa.
I don't know how we'd even get whiskey over there. So
They probably have something, right?
I don't feel like getting the shot to go back to Africa. So we'll just stick to the ones in the States.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good point. I'm not going to do that either.
Yeah.
I had a milkshake,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was delicious.
which is crazy. I really, you said it's soft serve. I think it probably, like, tell me the difference.
Well,
Difference between a milkshake and soft serve.
Well, I mean, their milkshake and soft. I mean, they came out of a soft serve machine.
yeah, if you look at the big containers of like whatever it is, the concoction they're pouring into the machine, it says
So
soft serve on
Oh,
it.
100%. It's a soft serve machine.
Yeah.
Of all the things, because I've been pretty strict on the carnivore thing. Of all the things for me to be like, yeah, that was probably like 6 Reese's cups. I could have just.
Yeah,
Whatever.
you threw it all away.
It was
today.
good though.
But you got your steps in. So I mean,
Dude, that's true.
balances
I was
out,
gonna
right?
look, but my phone is recording you, so I
I'll
can't.
look right now. See what it
See
got.
how many steps you got?
my circle's just like
My
around
circle
6
is
times.
fixed. Yeah,
It says
Only 10
why
times.
is it?
10,000.
Mine says 15,000, but I did walk around.
You did
a little
walk a
bit
little
more
bit
than
more.
You walked
guys
around a
did
little
because
more,
you were hanging out too at the booth.
So what is that? What do you?
6.4 miles.
So we walked at least 4 miles today inside of a building.
Yeah.
Isn't
So
that crazy?
That should tell you how big the show is.
Primarily between just 2 exhibit halls.
Yeah.
We bounced between the.
That's true. We didn't
We
really
didn't really go out
the
to the areas
bathroom.
too much.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know
the
what's
food
funny
court.
too? Like, I'm sure they'll never hear this, so I don't mind talking about it. But the Whitetail Adrenaline thing,
Mhm.
that's like, for me, that would be like if you're into celebrities and you got to meet a celebrity. That's the first time that I've ever, in the hunting space, been like, this is really cool to be in front of these guys. Because, like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's stuff. So it's,
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's still the same guys. I have no idea. Like, because I haven't watched any of the new stuff really. But it's like, that was really cool to meet them.
One of the only guys that wasn't there was Chansey.
Mhm.
He's one of the other really main guys of Whitetail Adrenaline.
Yeah.
Because, like, when did they start Whitetail Adrenaline?
Dude, it's been 10 years probably
Yeah, it's
close
been a long
to,
time.
if not a little bit more, that they
'Cause
started doing it.
I remember when you could they did like one season, they put all the trailers on YouTube. And it's like, I can't tell you how many times that I've just watched trailers
Yeah.
Mhm.
because I don't have a DVD player anymore. And it's crazy that that's the only way you can watch their content is on a DVD.
Yeah.
But
They're supposed to be going digital, and then boom, they just dropped another DVD.
I mean, if you think about it, it's how much does it cost to make a DVD today? And you know people are going to buy it.
Yeah. I mean, they had a pre-sale for over a year
Mm.
while they worked on this thing and sold tons and tons of copies.
they
I was one of them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I bought it pre-sale
Buy a
because,
DVD player, buy one.
because he was making a great deal on it, and you know you were getting a bonus disc if you bought it pre-sale.
Nice.
So you had a whole nother disc. I was like, well,
That's cool.
yeah,
You said it's like 9 discs.
it was 7 discs
7. That's
and
crazy.
15 or 17 hours of content,
That's nuts.
Holy shit.
and I got it for like $75.
How
But,
much
like,
they have to.
Good for them. Do you know how much it would cost them to stream that?
Oh yeah,
As opposed to, it's all profit. All they're doing is,
I mean, they
bet
put
you burn them
hundreds and
themselves.
hundreds of thousands of hours into editing that thing.
Mhm.
Like it took almost 2 full years. Actually, probably more than 2 full years to put that thing out.
I'm just gonna have to buy one. I'm gonna have to go find a DVD player on eBay or whatever
Yeah, dude, they're cheap,
antique store.
super cheap. You have a gaming system,
I
right?
was gonna say, yeah.
PS5,
You have a-
Xbox. No,
Mm.
yeah, I was gonna say you could do that, but
I have a PC, but like I'm not gonna watch shit on my computer.
I wouldn't now. Just go get a DVD
I
player.
could probably stream it to
$20
my
bucks.
TV. If I can figure out how to make an iPhone record a podcast, I think I could figure out how to stream a DVD from my computer.
I think you could figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But those guys are awesome. That was, I'm same shoes as you. Like the first year, kind of, you're almost like standoff. You don't want to approach them because you do, think of them as the
Yeah.
bigger guys in the industry. I mean, Jared Scheffler, like this
Yeah.
dude, there's a freaking giant
I
buck
hate that
at
he
the
was
top of his
sick.
thing. Yeah,
Because I would
that
love
sucks
to.
because he does interact really well
Yeah.
with people at the show. Like he's always talking to people and whatnot. But this show will get you. I mean, almost every year will get you sick. I mean, there's
Yeah.
just too many
Well,
people coming through.
I assume they've been here for the whole time,
Yes.
right?
I'm
So
sure
this
they
is
have.
this is they're on day like 7.
It's day 7.
Yeah,
for
they're
them,
probably
yeah.
worn.
And they've gotta
It
be
start last
exhausted.
Saturday. So
Because if every day is as long as today was, I'm
Mhm.
surprised
Saturdays
they're
are
not all
longer.
sick.
Dude, it's wild. That's one thing that people don't understand that are hunters or in the outdoor space but don't own a business in it. Like how much work goes into working an event. I mean, we've done 3-day events that are 12, 13-hour days. And after 3 days, I mean, I don't want to talk to anyone because you repeat yourself all day. And to do it that long, and the amount of idiots that come up, is this free?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I mean, but eventually you just accept it. There's people that come to shows and they get a bag and they just take everything that's free.
Yeah.
That's the only reason they're there.
Yeah.
Which, they're not going to do anything with it. It's going to sit in the back of their truck for 6 months until they throw it away. It's like,
yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, this show is definitely absurd. I mean, it's not for everyone either. There's people that come to the show and they think, hey, we're going to go do the Great American Outdoor Show because they hear about how big it is and the crowd, and they do it one time and they're like, yeah, I'm never coming back because I can't do that for 10 days straight.
Imagine
on your feet all day.
No way.
A lot of companies now, I mean, you know, especially if they're not from around here, they get, you know, their pro staff or whatever, they'll come and they'll do in shifts, you know.
Yeah.
So some guys will send, you know, 4 guys up for the first 5 days maybe, and then another 4 guys for the last 5 days.
Yeah.
But those Whitetail Adrenaline guys, they're here the whole time. Every single year they are here the entire show.
Was a guy I met, Danny?
The taller guy with the gray hair. Yeah, he's one of the
Danny.
I don't remember his name, but he's one of the cameramen.
Yeah, we talked a lot about camera stuff, and I've heard stuff about him, and I can totally see it after talking to him why people would think certain things about him, because he is very, you know, like his story is the most important.
Yeah, he just comes over like a little whiny on the DVD sometimes, like a little bitchy.
I have to rewatch it now that I've.
But I mean, you know, he seemed like a cool dude.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Yeah.
He spent in it 300. How many days are in a year?
365.
So he spent 367 days in Iraq.
That's so you don't have to pay taxes on it.
No, he was deployed in the
Army.
He
was deployed. It wasn't a contract.
He was in the Army. 367 days.
It was the first.
That's wild.
The first push. He was in the first push into Iraq. Those dudes stayed over.
Not wild.
Like you hear about that dude's doing full years in Iraq, but you don't ever meet one.
Yeah,
you know, it's just like a rumor. That
they didn't do it for very long. They nipped that in the bud pretty quick.
I guarantee they lost a lot of people mentally for that. I mean, that's a long time to be in that environment. I did almost 11 months in it, and that's
yeah.
I'm
trying to think how long my buddy was in. I can't remember if it was 10 or 11 months as well, and it definitely played a big difference. And
and you can tell just by talking to him. He's like, you know, he lives in a van. He has no kids, no wife, no nothing.
Yeah,
and he's getting ready to go to Bali and spend 4 months in Bali, and then after that, he's getting on an Alaskan fishing boat for 3 or 4 months. But he's just like, he's living the single guy, like our age single guy's dream, just going out and doing
one adventure after another.
Yeah, whatever. He doesn't have a house time down. He doesn't care. And then I guess that's how he can film all this hunting shit, because he's not doing anything else. That's his whole passion. But I wonder how much money they make, because when was the last time they released a DVD?
They just released one brand new.
I know. When was the last time before that?
Like 2 years.
Yeah. So I bet you they do it and they make all this money, and then they just.
Yeah, I mean,
for a little while.
Think about it. You got to use all that money though into all the trips. I mean, they go tons of different states.
Yeah, but how much
all
the
gas?
You know as well as I do, they're not paying for a lot of that.
They don't take any sponsors.
Yeah, but I bet people are like, "You want to come here and hunt?"
No. They're all public land.
That's their whole thing.
They're all public land. This is the first DVD that they posted.
That's right.
Uncuffed.
I don't know
where they actually went and they were allowed to go get permission.
I guess that's why I thought. I thought they quit doing. I knew that originally they were, and then like the public land bow hunter guy, like they had a beef because they were trying to basically do. What was his name?
I
don't know.
Which one?
It's another company, and they only hunt public land. I can't remember what they're called right now. But they had a beef with them, and that was the whole reason that I got into Whitetail Adrenaline.
Oh, way back when, you mean?
Yeah. I can't remember the company.
There's definitely something there. I can't remember. But they've been doing it forever. No sponsors. I mean, they literally make all their money on these DVDs, and that's what they use for.
And it costs them nothing to make, I'm sure.
I'd imagine. But then again, when they first started, probably cost them quite a bit.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a cool lifestyle, but I don't know that I could do it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It's a lot of being on the road a lot.
Banged up old vehicles, always breaking down all the time.
But I mean, just like.
I love to hunt, but
your whole life
feels like a job.
Yeah, I think it would ruin hunting for me.
Yeah. So Jared actually went through some of that in the course of making this DVD and the one prior to it, where, you know, for him, it's even worse because once the season's over, he would literally spend every waking hour editing through till the next season. So, you know, how many months straight he would edit and then get these out and then have to start all over again. It was just like, it wasn't fun anymore.
17 hours you said of content?
This one,
You know how many hundreds of hours that has to be?
It was hundreds of thousands of hours that he put into this.
It's got to be.
It's insane.
I want to see what his workload. I might go talk to him tomorrow and see what his workload like how he sketched. Because we have, for instance, we have probably 3 hours of content from a distillery that we went to, and I cannot wrap my mind around how to do the video. Because it's all over the place. It's like, what do I cut out? What do I keep? What part's interesting? It's like, if it's interesting to me, and I've told myself, like, just do what's interesting to you. But then it's like, I don't know that people like what I like. And so for him to make,
I think you should.
I need to talk to him and be like, how do you just like decide this is what's staying, this is what's going?
I think for them, they just built their entire empire around a certain idea and a certain style that nobody else does.
Yeah.
And that's how they post.
And they're like, fuck it, we got a following. They'll like,
yeah. Guys took on to it. It's very, if anybody has ever watched their DVDs, it's very fast action paced all the time.
And if you haven't, go to YouTube and watch one of the trailers and you'll end up buying the DVDs.
Yeah. It's pretty intense. But then 80% of the show is always them fixing their fucking vehicles because they're driving around junk.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's all part of the storyline. It's all real.
Yeah.
Like it's all something someone go through. But, you know, he's a cool dude. I talked to him again today. That's like Austin's #1 person in the outdoor.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, and I keep telling him, I'll get him on. I have his phone number and I'll text him, whatever. But the dude is so freaking busy.
Well, aren't you plugged in?
Yeah. I'm kind of a big deal. I don't know if you knew that.
I don't know if you guys.
I know you are. That's why you're here. It's like we're trying to get off your celebrity fame. You introduced some cool people today. We met a lot of people through you today. And I tell you what, dude, like we always feel like outdoor shows, we should be vendors at it, but I think we got more accomplished in one day.
I think coming next year as media and bringing some like mobile podcast gear and just walking around early in the morning and catching folks. Hey man, you want to talk about it for a little bit? The little 20-30 minute snippets doesn't have to be crazy.
So the other thing too is like, how do you pick it? Because we were walking around, we interviewed a few people today, but it's like a lot, like you were saying earlier, a lot of it's repeat shit. I mean, there's 5,000 knife makers.
That was the thing with shooting sports. It's like, all right, cool, uppers, turn around. Oh, fuck, more uppers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, this one has a Molon Abe sticker on it.
Yeah. Here's some pistols. Oh, look at there, more pistols. Oh, more optics. Okay, I've seen like how many people are carrying Holosun optics here? All of you? Awesome.
I tell you what, if you want to buy a Holosun, that's the place to do it because the one I have that I like, I can't remember. They have weird model numbers, but I know what they look like.
$400.
Round top, yeah, I paid almost $400 for it. It's $256 at the show.
No, really?
I was thinking about buying another one because at that price, I got plenty of handguns. I'll just put or should I put it on a shotgun? $256. That's a great price for a Holosun for the one that I have. You can get them. What happened?
Is this still recording though?
Yeah. What does that mean?
I don't know. I've never seen that before.
So let's fix it. And
is it a card right there?
No.
Just hit record again.
What did you do?
What does that mean? We've never seen that.
I've never seen this before.
What'd you do?
Well, that's going. So as long as that's going, we're
okay.
That's wild. Our backup just went out.
Yeah.
For those. We're experimenting with a new setup. Usually we record everything over a online streaming service that we pay for. But now we've because of the multiple camera setup, we're using a laptop and using free OBS software. And I'm looking at it and the feeds are up and the audio levels are moving. So our backup just went out. So if you're listening this far and there's weird audio issues, we're probably going to post it anyway. So now you know why.
Send it.
We're using a new setup to record everything and our backup just went out. So whatever. I think we're good.
Turn that off. So all right.
We should be good.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll be fine.
Cool.
Yeah. I still see that ticking. So
we saw Hannah Barron.
Oh, man, I got to catch up with her tomorrow. I missed her. You guys saw her without me. I was jealous.
when we saw her, it was like right before the show opened.
Yeah.
And it was her and 2 chicks walking around, and then some
guy had introduced himself.
Hey.
And I was like, well,
was that me?
Hey, how you, Hannah? But it's like, what's funny is everyone, if you know Hannah Barron, I'm sure you do, but you know what she looks like. So
you know what you know.
Everybody that walked by, that like when someone's like, that's Hannah, and like everyone looked her in the face to see that it was her, and then went straight to her ass.
Down, dude.
Every single person. And I just sat there and watched dude after dude, even the Mennonites, the Amish people.
You know what's funny though?
Oh, that's Hannah. And they were like,
everybody would do everybody would do their thing, like there she is, and then immediately turn to the person next to me and go, you know, her dad fell out of a tree stand. Yeah. Is everybody? That's all I heard all weekend. Yep. It's funny.
So going back to what we were just talking about with the mobile gear stuff. I have buddies that cover the show. There's I was like, what the hell was that?
There's an outlaw motorcycle gang hanging out across the street. So
nobody
just heard one of the motorcycles leaving. It's the Pagans and their support club is over there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so the local guys, they have a podcast from this side of the state. Good friends of mine. They do it every year. They actually have a frame pack where they have their mobile gear hooked up to it. They have like all the headsets and with the mics on them and stuff. And then, dude, it's actually pretty badass. But they do kind of what you're talking about. They go around. They literally hit the first day, maybe 2, super hard. Like they just go around and get all these interviews, and then they do like a day by day. Even though technically they've recorded them all on day 1. They act like they've recorded them throughout the whole week, even though they're not here.
Yeah.
And they post like 3 interviews per episode. It's really cool. That's what I listened to on the way here.
Yeah.
Which was neat because I was able to kind of like, I knew I was coming, but I was able to listen and probably catch, 15 different vendors that they may have interviewed. To see if something caught my eye.
We intend. There's a couple of big companies we'd like to talk to, but a lot of the folks we talked to were small businesses, guys just getting started, new products who were just fucking excited to be there and be in the same room as Tethered or whomever, pick someone just to be in the same building and room. Like they were really excited, and they're fun to talk to because they're just genuinely happy to just be in the same.
What's funny about that too is like you talk to like a major company, like how you guys doing? They're like, no, I've only had a few sales. I don't know. And then you talk to these new guys and they're like, dude, so much interest. So many people have come and talked to me. We've talked to a lot of people, talk, nothing about sales, but they've made a bunch of, everybody likes what we're doing. They're going to give us feedback on this and that and the other thing. And it's like, but the problem is like you have people like us, not us, but people like us come to them and they're like, this is a cool new product. Give me one and I'll make videos for you. It's like, they don't have money for that.
No.
And so we don't do that. And they're so adapted. And you'll see, we'll have a YouTube video coming out with, just our time here, but you'll be able to watch a lot of the interviews that we did with these companies. And it's really cool stuff. I'm not going to put anything in there that's weird. It's all stuff that either we already know about and support or like cool stuff that we're just blowing away. Like the guy you introduced, what was the name of that company?
Hunt Arsenal.
Dude,
impressive.
If you need saddle platforms specifically, they have cool climbing stick too.
Yeah, they do.
But if you need a saddle platform and you're trying to buy one, go buy that one.
100%.
That's the coolest platform I've ever seen.
Yeah, I've had 2 or 3 people that have been to this show prior to us getting here. It's like, I really need your opinion about this Hunt Arsenal.
Sick.
I'm like, I didn't even know that name
until today.
Never heard of him. Never.
Did you know the guy, or you just ended up talking to him?
No, I just talked to him for half an hour before you guys got there. So that's the only way I knew him. He did a bunch of videos for me as well, like promo video type things. And I walked up and, they were kind of showing me everything. And I was extremely impressed.
I can't believe when you handed it to me. That's my platform
light it was
light.
Blew me away.
That platform and what are they? They're cheap.
They're not bad. They're $300.
$300, and you can buy a tethered platform for $380, and they weigh twice as much, and they don't collapse down like that. And they're bulky as shit.
Yeah,
his has the clip idea. Genius.
Belt clip.
Yeah, that was really smart.
Because because I see people walking around with saddles with their platform attached to them, and it's always like paracord. This actually has the clip that fits on the webbing of almost any saddle.
And I could see those saddles actually riding well on your hip, like
100%.
Not bouncing all over the place and not being bulky and
it's not heavy. It doesn't have enough weight to want to swing around and move.
And if you're interested, excuse me, in a saddle setup, this episode comes out on Monday, so this weekend, if you're local to Charleston, we will be at Seawee, and we're going to give away a brand new tethered saddle setup. You have to buy your own sticks and platform, but we got the saddle.
Dang.
It's like a $500-$600 setup. So,
No shit.
you should come
Check her out.
Check us out. But anyway, motorcycles.
Maybe I need to buy a ticket to come down, try to win it.
You should come hang out in Charleston.
Just get a
Seawee,
flight,
man.
All you need is a flight. We got you the rest of the way. Especially if you want to work the booth.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like we're getting ready to do the same thing. We're getting ready to spend 3 days in a booth. So
Yeah.
Or out in a tent outside.
I will say, coming from a first person perspective, last year I worked this show,
Mhm.
and that's the first time I've ever done it. All the other years I've been, media or just a consumer. 10,000 times better walking around.
100%.
Yeah, man.
10,000 times
Yeah.
better. When you're stuck at that booth, there is no leaving.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
especially days like tomorrow, you'll see how many people are coming through there.
Saturday.
When it starts to heat up on a Saturday and Sunday, like it is brutal.
Yeah.
You can't leave. There's like that gun hall that you guys might be in tomorrow for a little bit. That's what, 6, 7, 8 people deep in every single row.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And my problem with walking, because it's so far away, I am not a slow walker.
Mhm.
Like my wife's always like, "Can you slow down?" I'm like, "Yeah, sorry." But like just walking behind looky-loos, trying to get somewhere, it's like step.
Dude, there's zombie hordes. Is what it reminds
It
me of.
reminds me of casinos. When you go to a casino and people are just sitting there like,
yes.
that's what it reminds me of. Like there's nothing going on. They're just literally just step by step walking through. I don't know. The show is crazy. The concept's crazy. The amount of stuff. If you want to buy anything, well, I'll tell you this because we've been talking about some Kentucky property stuff, but one of them was like an outdoor furnace, basically a wood burning furnace that's fuel efficient that can heat your house and your driveway if it snows and all this stuff, hot water, everything. So I'm over there talking. They had those there. There was more than one. There was more than one. Selling $20,000.
They have an outdoor
heaters. Like
they have a hall it's called Outdoor Lifestyle, and so it's all like log cabin builders.
Yeah,
that's where the furnace thing came from. It's cooking stuff. It's grills.
They had
steel
was
there. Tractors. Still.
You get Zens, $1 per can of
tiny homes. All kinds of stuff out there.
Dude, it's crazy. This is the show. Like, if you wanted to do anything outside of your house and you had any interest at all, no matter what it was gardening. Yeah. You could come here and find somebody that would interest you.
Yeah.
I mean,
which is wild.
People here selling paracord. Like that's the realm of, possibilities that this place offers you. Dog leashes, dog bones. Like, dude, there's everything here.
What kind of paracord was he talking about? It's a metal cord on the inside. What's that called?
Oh no. So that was actually Amstil.
So I've never heard of that.
Really?
So can you explain it? Because I can't explain because I've never heard. I know what it is now, but I can't explain.
Amstil, pound for pound, has like better breaking ability than actual steel, pound for pound. It's incredible. It's basically just a woven fiber type that people use now because you're never going to break it. I mean, you're just never going to break it.
It's the size of paracord, and it's basically like a steel rod.
Yeah, they have a ton of different sizes, right? So his was very, very small. I can't remember if he said it was 4 millimeter or what it was, but he had it. It was an interior Amstil wrapped in some kind of, dang it, I can't remember the cord, but it was wrapped. That's why I didn't feel like Amstil.
It's like tree resistant. Like you're not gonna scuff up the wrapping.
Yeah. So if you think about your saddle.
Yeah.
The bridge on your saddle.
Yeah.
Is Amstil.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
See, I've never even heard of that till today.
Yeah.
I don't really look at stuff made up.
Well, the only reason I do is because everything basically now saddle wise is gone.
Yeah.
Amstil. Like all the ropes that you'll see more or less on sticks and stuff are Amstil. A lot of people are doing that because it's extremely, extremely strong.
Yeah.
And
it's super safe. The time, because like I'm watching him tie it, and I'm like, he's like, you got to go over and under, and then cross, and then go back, and then wrap it around. And I'm like, I'm just gonna stick to the ratchet thing. And then talking to people today, and they're like, those bust all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like that makes me a little nervous. I mean, not so much saddle hunting because you're super safe. You're attached to the tree basically.
Right.
But it would suck if your platform broke underneath you.
Sure would.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
You're going to eat a tree.
And not only that, what if you're the guy that hangs your platform 2 feet above your last stick?
True.
And you've already tied in.
You making fun of me?
No. But this is the conversation I had with Austin because this happened to him this year. I had a conversation with him. I said, dude, you're not rappelling. What if you were up in there and you were tied in, right, with very little slack and your platform dropped? How are you getting to your stick?
Yeah.
How are you releasing pressure?
Wouldn't be able to because I still run knots.
Right. You have a Prusik knot.
I'd be stuck. I'd have to cut it and
then good luck.
Pretend to be a bear.
Good luck cutting am still.
Have you seen that? Yeah, that's true.
Right.
I wouldn't be able to cut it. Yeah, that's a good point. It's a great point.
It would be
everything's aim still except the thing I'm standing on.
Right. Right. Does that make any sense? Yeah. So I mean,
I was super impressed with it. Like somebody so I bought a saddle today. I've never other than trying it on there, which
welcome to the club.
As soon as I leaned back
to get him on it,
as soon as I sat into it, and then I kind of almost like you're pulling down your pants, you put your fingers in those loops and pull it down. I was like, why haven't I been doing this?
I've been trying.
I will still have to sit in regular tree stands, hunt with my kids, and in properties where maybe it's just easier, but I will spend a lot of time in this.
Where did I buy mine at? Where were we at?
We were at
we were in Georgia.
In Georgia at the
other great American outdoor show.
That's the Georgia Outdoor Network.
Yeah, they're
something.
So we were there, and I had never. I knew people saddle hunted, but I had never talked to anyone or whatever. And so Cruiser would just happen to be like 3 booths down from us. So I walked over there and I was like, "Show specials, like what's going on?" And they had me sit in it, and I was like, in love.
Yeah.
And so I've been saddle hunting since then. I've been trying to get him to do it, and even like going to Kentucky. And I'm not one to pressure somebody into doing something, but I'm like, just take mine tomorrow and go hunt with it. And he's like, I'm not going to figure out how to saddle hunt in the dark.
First time.
Yeah, first time. But I'm like, honestly, we could walk outside right now. I could show you how to use it. It's really, but it's like, as soon as you learn how easy it is to do it. And if I were you, you already bought ropes, but I would go ahead and get, what are those things called? The slide release things instead of the knots.
Yeah. Like a ropeman or a Kong duck. It's an ascender, basically.
Go ahead and do it, because my worry with those was that I would pull it and it would run out of rope and I'd die. I didn't figure that you could just tie knots at the bottom.
Is that the thing that I tightened it and then I just pulled it out?
Because when you're saddle hunting and you're leaning back or whatever, and you want to sit up real quick, if you're doing it, you have to sit up and support your own weight and then loosen that knot and slide it up and then pull it again. And then you can sit back. Where that thing, you can literally just like hop up and pull and you're
you can pull yourself nice and
that's true too.
I mean, you have to put some,
you got to sit up a little bit
while you're doing it. But one of the first things I got rid of was all the Prusik knots because I was so sick of the Prusik knots. Yeah, like just getting balled up and tight, and you're really struggling with them. I've worked tenders. I've used tenders where it's just the one hand to tighten, loosen them and whatnot. But I got rid of all of them and went all mechanical. And I understand the safety features behind.
I almost feel like it's going more mechanical, safe because of the quick adjustability. I think that's kind of how I feel.
I love them.
Yeah.
I
don't see them breaking because the way they're made, if they break, they would break locked. They wouldn't break open.
Right. So. Most climbing gear, I think, and I'm not big into climbing, but I believe a lot of climbing gear is designed to fail safe.
Yeah.
With the exception of
fail safe.
A regular old carabiner if that breaks.
And this stuff is it's all climbing gear. It's
and that was the
new.
Point that's the stuff we were talking about earlier today is like, the saddle industry has exploded the last 5 to 10 years, but the technology and the methods that are being recycled for it's all grounded in just regular climbing. And that's been around for decades. I mean, hundreds of years.
When you one stick, do you just drop the stick?
No.
What do you do with it?
Whenever I
before you
come out, yeah. So what I do is I will basically get everything prepared to rappel down, and then I'll rappel to my stick, pop it off the tree, tie it all up, and I have a hook on the back of my saddle, and I hook it right on the back of my saddle, and I rappel down, and then when I hit the ground, I just pull it off, throw it in my backpack.
See, I couldn't fathom
my ropes away
the rappelling part because I couldn't figure out where you would put where you would tie. But I realized now that it's just the same as an anchor on saddling, just the rope's longer. and then I guess you have a line attached to it. So when you get to the bottom, you can loosen that knot. Does it ever get hung up and stuff and be a huge?
You can.
Yeah.
You have to really work with it.
Yeah,
like I've had 3 moments in the last 3 years I've been one sticking that I've almost had to climb back up and get my stick. So the key to it, you'll find out, like, you just don't want to set your rope up for failure whenever you're going to pull it down. Because what I use now is a knot tied to the edge of an oval steel link, like that thing with the little spinning gate on them. So basically what you do is you tie off like a Dynaglide rope, something that's not stretchable, and you tie it right behind that knot. So then all you're doing is pulling the tag into the rope through that oval. You're not untying the knot. Okay. The knot's permanent.
I mean, you're pulling the knot loose.
You're pulling the knot.
Not the knot, but it's
pulling the link. Yes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So there's a couple tricks to it. From the bottom, what you can do is you can take, before you even do anything, you take your tag into your rope and give it a couple whips, and that'll loosen it from the tension of you coming down the tree. And then the other part of it, how you get it from never really getting stuck, is you always get like an extra 5-10 feet on that little Dynaglide rope. That rope is 1 millimeter, if that. It's what you pull your bow thin. Yeah, like people use paracord, but I don't really like paracord. I like something like this Dynaglide a little better. It's again better braking.
Is yours retractable, like in a reel? You just have this.
No, it's just bundled up. It's just you take the figure 8 between your thumb and your pinky.
Yeah,
and you just boop, boop, boop. And I mean, it takes a little bit longer, but I think I have 40 foot of it. And dude, I mean, it packs down to absolutely nothing. You can put it in your pocket and walk away. But what's nice is you get away from the tree.
Yeah.
As far as you can. And you give one good strong yank. And I actually came up with an idea this year, because that rope's thin. Like, it'll dig into your hands when you're pulling with tension. I'm like, why don't I just grab a stick that's laying in the woods and wrap it around this thing and pull on the stick?
What if you did? What if you wrapped it around one of those kite handles?
Absolutely. You could do anything, dude. You could do anything. And I've never thought about that. I still haven't done it.
I made a deer trap this year with 550 cord and a piece of scrap PVC.
Yeah.
I had this big, just ran it through there and tossed it in my bag. And when I killed that doe at the end of the year, just wrap it around and just pull it behind. Super. It's just easy. Stick would work just as fine.
But I will say rappelling is probably the coolest.
That's what I'm going to do this year. I'm going to
best way to get down.
I'm going to give him my sticks and platform, and he can learn on those. And then, I got to buy one stick.
Yeah, it's the way to go, in my opinion. But there's a learning curve, like anything. Yeah, first time you use sticks in a platform, I'm sure.
Well, I'm super comfortable with sticks in a platform.
Yeah.
So
once
all
you
we got to learn is taking the one stick, like climbing up, and I know as soon as I do it, I'll figure it out. But like when you step on the top rung, like how do you reach down? And I mean, I'm sure I'll figure it out.
Yeah. So the best way to do it, like when you make your first move, right? You climb to the top. You have your rope that goes all the way up around the tree. Get it as high as you possibly can. Like as high up as you can.
You run a lineman rope, or you're running
I'm running your main tether rope, right? Your main tether rope that goes around the tree, comes down, and it goes into what I use is a Mad Rock Safeguard, which is just, again, a mechanical
Somebody else told
descender.
Me that. I wrote it down, Mad Rock Safeguard. I wrote it down.
Mad Rock Safeguard. And there's a couple other options with that too, but that's my favorite. It's the easiest one to run. So that's hooked in, and then from there you have a carabiner that runs through it, and it hooks into your bridge.
Okay.
Right? So you're hooked up to the tree. At that point, you could technically hunt, right?
Do you use a handbrake, or behind your back?
Everything's in there. You use your hand when you're coming down.
Okay.
Right. But everything, you have the brakes all built into the Mad Rock.
Okay.
So as you climb up, you pull slack out of it, it tightens. It will not come back down. There's a little handle on it. You have to pull all the way around. And as you loosen that handle, that'll let rope out slowly. Right. So you get completely hooked in, you're ready to go. And all you do from there is, once you kind of get where you don't do it like fully standing up, you give a little bit of slack to where you can almost like crouch. And then you just swing to the side of the tree, wrap your leg around the tree, reach down. And usually on the one sticks, they have like a loop that you can grab that loop, pull up, that'll jar the stick free. And then you reach down and grab your rope out of, usually people use cam cleats. So it's real quick, pop it out of the cam cleat, grab your stick, step into the tree, take a full step, extend your legs away, put the stick back up, drop into the tree. So what you do is you're using your rope why I tell you get as high as you can. You're using your rope to hold the stick
as the
on the tree.
Yeah.
And then you can let go hands free, grab your am still, run it around, run it back through the cam cleat, step away.
Yeah.
Hold the stick down tight, climb up, rinse and repeat. It sounds like a lot.
It does. And I think anyone that's listening that doesn't saddle hunt is like, fuck that.
Yeah.
But it's not. Well, I can tell you just from the saddle hunt, like there's 30 steps to get up a tree, but in reality, it's like this. It's like 2 steps repeated over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's like, so you try to explain how you climb the tree, because I mainly use a lineman's rope all the way up. And that's why it's frayed, because I've been dragging it up and down.
See, me personally, when I climb, what I like to do, and I felt is the quickest way and probably the safest. And there's different ways you can do this too, but the best way to do it for one sticking to keep it quiet and safe is whenever you get that on and you go to make that next move, you put your foot into your 2-step, 3-step 8 or whatever it is, and you grab your tag end rope and you hold onto your stick. And as you take that first step, pull that slack out of that rope. You want to get your Mad Rock above your platform.
Okay.
Without hitting your platform. Because if you don't, when you step up, your Mad Rock's going to clank off your platform.
Yeah.
Metal on metal.
Yeah.
Right. That's what we try to avoid.
How many 8ers do you have?
I'm a 2-step 8er.
I think 3 is wild. I don't know how you would reach that high.
3 is cool for your first move.
Yeah.
After that, it's pointless because you can't get the stick high enough in the tree to where you need a 3rd step when you're moving between moves.
I think a 1-step is plenty.
If you're 1-sticking, 2 steps, ideal.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's ideal. And they're short. They're, 15-inch steps is what I use. I like 15 inches. Usually there's a little bit of a play.
Is it like theirs where it's 2 ropes coming down? Or okay.
Mine is, funny enough, mine's not rope. It's actually, what's it called? Webbing.
Oh, okay.
It's 1-inch webbing.
Yeah.
But it gives it, it's like layered a few times. It gives it real nice beefy to it, so it doesn't like collapse. And
the other thing too that I learned, and for those that don't know what 8ers are, it's if you imagine a climbing stick, which is basically a really wide H, and so like you're stepping on the face of the H, and then there's a long bar, and then you're stepping on the top face. So an 8er is basically a rope that comes, or some kind of material that comes down off that to give you another step. So he's got 2 more rope steps underneath this thing. And what always made me nervous about it is because I always thought, like, how do you get because it sits against the tree, but he was explaining today, you want to get that rope like in the middle of your foot.
Toe hook it?
And you stick your toe into the tree.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, well, there was a knowledge gap that I didn't understand because I've never done it. But way more safe than I thought.
Oh, yeah. Guys now are doing some crazy shit where they're taking like zip ties and they're zip tying them on the like on your bottom step.
Wow.
And they're just leaving the tag end loose. So that zip tie will hit against the tree and it keeps it back. It keeps it away from the tree.
Interesting.
Yeah. That way you don't have to toe.
Do you have a preference of tree species?
Yeah. I would say.
Do you climb pines anymore? That's what I really want.
I've climbed pines.
I tried.
They suck. Yeah, I've climbed pin oaks. There's nothing worse than a pin oak.
Yeah.
There's branches like crazy.
Yeah.
Personally, if I'm climbing, I like maples, oaks.
Okay.
You're like a hard, soft oak. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could climb anything with that. That's what's nice about it.
Because like climbers, I would only really climb pine trees because I want that.
You get that good soft bite.
That bite. Yeah. I want it to dig into the tree because I don't trust it. They're scary as fuck.
Yeah.
But with the saddle, dude, I'm comfortable in almost any oak tree. I don't really climb pines anymore.
Yeah. I could climb anything in that. With that stick. That's what's nice.
I think you said you didn't like the pines because everything got sticky.
Well, I mean, that's another reason too. But it's also like I don't like it. They make a mess. They're noisy. When you climb, I mean, there's shit falling off all the time.
You guys have different pines than we do.
That's true.
That's totally different.
Our pine bark is this big.
Yeah, I know. It's insane.
It scrapes right off.
I talk to people in the South and they're like, I would never one stick. It's so noisy. And
I think your pine trees are like our palm trees. Like
dude, they're super smooth. They're super smooth. Yeah, we don't have that loud, crunchy bark. That's like
those windows right there. That's what the bark's like. Yeah. These huge chunks.
It wasn't until I was in Florida this past couple weekends, whatever it was ago, that I realized
what we're talking about.
Like, why do people always complain that one sticking is so loud?
Yeah.
I'm the quietest climber I've ever been in a one stick. And I can't figure it out until I was sitting down there and I'm leaned up against one of this tree. And every time I lean up against,
and then it falls. And
and I'm like,
And the problem is where
sense.
we hunt is all the public land down here, they control burn, and it
makes it
they
worse.
started too late. So the only thing that lives is they're supposed to control burn so that the oaks will grow, but they didn't start doing it until recently. So all of our mature trees, a lot of places that we go hunt,
It's just a huge national
all
forest.
pine trees, pine trees. Like there's no oaks in there.
It's wild.
And that's a big hunting tip in South Carolina is find the oak trees because that's
Mhm.
Find the acorns,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Find those
Yeah, but
transitions
that's easier said than done.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll walk for miles and not see an oak tree.
Yeah, we have oaks everywhere here.
And it's not a thing.
Everywhere. And I mean, now they're starting to cut them all. It's going to be a lot less oaks, but
Yeah.
there's still a ton of oaks.
I'm just really excited about the flexibility of not
Well,
being able to go
dude.
where you want.
The problem is once you get comfortable with it, like I said, I don't know who I was talking to today, but I was like, I can't even do a normal stand anymore. I'm so nervous because I never did the safety line ever. It's just, I don't care. But it's like now if I'm hunting somebody's tree stand, I'm probably going to bring my saddle with me and hook into the tree.
That's what I do.
Because I'm so nervous, man. I'd rather use a climber than to use a hang-on stand, and that's nuts.
Even if I'm sitting and using the stand the way it's intended to, lock on, ladder stand, whatever, I am 100% every time wearing my saddle and still hooking it. Even if I'm above my head and I run it down, and then just hooking right at my lap.
Yep.
I'm still wearing my saddle.
Yeah.
And every once in a while I'll stand up and tighten that thing up, and I'll just stand like a normal saddle.
And it's like when we hunt in Kentucky, Rocco, he puts these fucking hang on. He'll
Love
put
you, Rocco.
3 ladders. Yeah, I love you. I know.
But you put hang on
You
stands
scared
like
the
a
fuck out of me, dude. He'll do three sets of like the ladders you buy the
sticks. Yeah.
that you buy that are I don't know 20 feet. I don't know how tall they are.
They're typically 20.
So he'll put 2 or 3 up, and then
God no.
and then the very top rung, that's where the platform is. So you have to climb up and then hold onto the tree to get to the top, and then you sit down and you're 40 feet off the ground on one tape,
And
like one hand cranked, and he's like, good to go.
He's such a big lovable teddy bear. I think he forgets sometimes that 99% of the people are not as tall as him.
Yeah.
So his spacing between I'm trying to get one leg up to the next.
Also, these aren't like the sticks that you put up against a tree and they're 8-foot sections.
No, so they don't fit right. And the other problem too is dude, when I filmed that big ass buck he shot, this tree, so it's an oak tree that's split. So it's got 2. It's like the base. It's as wide as 2 refrigerators, and then it splits off, and it's a refrigerator. And so he's got a set of saddle hunting sticks to get you up to the base, and then it steps over, and you have to stick your foot in the crevice of the 2 cracks, and then swing around and climb up another set of saddle hunting sticks. Another set of saddle hunting sticks, and then at the top he has a fucking ladder, like a 20-foot ladder, and you're climbing up there, and then the hang on, and then he put 2 hang on so I could film, and so I have to get on his hang on, and then the one I'm filming on is 5 feet above, so I'm standing on the seat of his hang on, holding onto the tree, and I'm putting my leg up as high as I can get, and just lunging up, and dude. I climbed up there and I was like, Rocco, I'm going to tell you this. If you don't kill this fucking thing tonight, I'm not doing this again. There's no way I'm climbing this tree. But coming down in the dark took me forever. Because the whole time, when I got down, the next day I was sore. I felt like I had done a workout just climbing down out of a tree.
You're hanging on for dear life.
Ladder here, and you got to kind of squeeze against and then a wall climb. It's dude, it's nuts.
Nope.
But yeah, saddle hunting is the key. And, we have some people that don't like us. And one of their big things is they're always saddle hunting's for losers and it's a trend and blah, blah, blah. It's
try it.
You got to try it. You just got to try it.
Try it.
You got to get up there. You got to get one. They're expensive now.
And still.
I don't want to. The ones that stole our name.
I'll call them out. Right now.
The ones that stole our name and changed it a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And then they sell. Never mind. I don't want to give it away either.
Yeah, I don't want to give them any. I don't want to give anybody a reason to go look them up and give them.
Exactly.
That's fine.
Exactly.
But fuck them, I don't care.
Yep.
I don't know. Fuck them is the correct.
It works.
You know what I mean?
Send it.
But yeah, it's like saddle hunting is definitely the way to go. And I feel way more secure doing it. And getting into it, you think it's scary, it's sketchy, but it's not. It's so safe, in fact, that I have Washingtonian palm trees in my backyard. They are like, go to a parking lot and those big ass lights in the parking lot, they're probably 30 feet above that is where the fronds are. And so you can't get a bucket truck back there. So every time I pay somebody to cut the palms, they climb up and they have spikes and they have a lineman's rope and they climb up and they cut it all. And I'm going to do it myself. That's how much I trust the saddle, because it's like, what's the difference in climbing 10 feet and climbing 80? I don't know that it's 80 feet. It's probably at least 60.
Yeah.
But what's the difference in 10 and 60? If I fall at 10, I'm going to slam into the tree because I'm hooked to it. If I fall at 60, I'm going to slam into the tree because I'm hooked to it. But being able to rappel down, that's going to be a blast to be able to drop 60 feet out of the sky.
So you're actually going to have to rappel twice. You realize that?
Yeah, that's right, because they're 30 feet. You're right. I did, and I don't know.
Yeah.
That may change my mind.
You basically what you could
actually, I could get 2 ropes and I could do 30 feet up, put a rope.
Is you stage one?
Yeah, stage one on the way up.
Could.
That's what I'll do.
I was going to say you could do that, or all you would have to do is literally rappel to damn near the bottom. Make sure you tie a knot in your rope, by the way. Rappel damn near to the bottom of your rope, and then just take your platform off your back, put it on the tree, stand on it, take your linesman's belt out, put your linesman's belt on, pull your rope down, because palm tree, there's no limbs.
Yeah, there's nothing in the way.
What's great about that, whenever you climb a tree with no limbs, you pull that, the whole thing comes falling
straight down to where I'm at.
Yep. Yeah. You would grab
Let
your
me
rope,
ask you this.
tighten it back up.
Would you do it?
No, because I'm not climbing that high. Would I feel safe doing it?
What if I told you it cost me $100 per tree to get it trimmed? Then would you do it? We're talking a grand total of
cut the trees down.
Just be safe, man.
You can't do their pretty.
Whiskey and Whitetails is going to be a solo podcast with a really nice life insurance.
Yeah.
I
think you could sponsor do it extremely.
I hope there's an afterlife so I can listen to you do Whiskey and Whitetails by yourself.
Just sad and fucking depressing. Like,
hey guys, thanks for
another week.
Matt's still on permanent vacation.
Matt's still on assignment. He's not coming back.
I would trust your equipment to do it, though.
I think I trust the equipment, and I think it's more going to be fun than anything. Mm-hmm. But the other thing is I got to do it twice, and I don't know that I think I'd rather just pay somebody $200.
Well, the nice part is once you do it once, and you do it, and you're like, I don't want to do that again because that's a lot of effort climbing that high.
The other thing,
because that'd be a lot of moves.
The real content, like to be able to make content, not real like REA, but REEL, to be able to make the content, like, it's July or whatever, and I'm in a saddle.
Think of it this way:
60 feet of a palm tree.
There's no better practice for one sticking.
Yeah, your life depends on it at that point.
Well, but like you're gonna do that move 12, 13 times to get to the top of a 60-foot. If you think about 6 feet per move on average, right? Your first move's about 8 probably from the ground.
I might start
get a little higher.
Yeah, you're going to figure some shit out.
I might start from a ladder.
Could do that too.
Make it even sketchier. I'll go 10 feet up a ladder and then start there.
Yeah. I mean, you're still definitely going to figure stuff out because you're going to make a ton of moves.
I might do it only because I know it's going to stress my wife out. I guarantee you, like, she's listening to this right now and she's going to text me and be like, don't. Do not. It's $200. Just pay someone to do it. But I think it'd be a fun challenge.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to think about it.
So a hint, like a tip also, whenever you do that, whenever you get to the top of your step, right, your stick.
Before you continue, should I learn how to rappel then? Or should I practice somewhere else?
You should probably practice first.
I get stuck 60 feet up. And I'm like, fuck, I don't know how to.
Those Mad Rocks can be a little temperamental sometimes. Like, because when you first do them, you're going to jolt, right? Yeah. You're not going to get a perfect little smooth, "Woo, I'm Batman."
Oh,
there's days you get the Batman.
Like, Batman.
Yeah, like I've kicked off and rappelled like Batman down a tree. And then there's days where I drop 2 feet and you go, holy shit. I mean, you're holding on.
Oh my God, I just died.
But yeah, you mini die.
Well, I guess if something fucks up on the rappel, you're screwed because you're not attached to the tree anymore.
What do you mean?
Do you stay attached to the tree when you rappel?
Oh yeah. What do you mean? I can't just jump out of the tree.
No, I mean, like, you Like you stay.
Are you attached in any other way? Like,
Oh no, you're just
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You're just attached to the rappel rope. So if the rappel rope like slides down the palm tree, you're sliding. It's not going to. But.
It's not going to, but yeah, 100%.
And also the palm tree grows it like this, like a weird dick. You know, it's a little.
That actually could be an issue.
Yeah, because then I can't touch the tree.
Right.
Oh yeah.
That's actually good point. That's a good point for when you do rappel too, because
you got to pick a straight tree.
Well, no, not always. No, you can
get a gay tree.
Let your go gaze you want. Let your body do. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. Those gaze you want. Just let your body understand.
You just let it happen.
Just let it happen.
Just let it happen.
And I've heard.
You just let it happen.
Yeah, you just let it happen.
It's better to let them finish. Okay.
Hell yeah.
So,
yeah.
But so what I do is I get to the top after I do my little trick where I get my Mad Rock above my step. And when I get to the top, before I pull my rope up, because I don't like that, I throw my lines and belt on.
Yeah, okay.
It just makes things quicker and safer.
Yeah.
Throw my lines and belt on. Even if I'm not unattaching my rope, I still do it. And I run my rope up as high as I can, because then you're not holding yourself up and then trying to pull your rope up as high as you can. You have the lines and belt holding you. And you can hands-free just pull your rope up and then retighten and
I will tell you when I first started saddle hunting, I would get up there and I would take the linesman belt off and then pull out my actual rope and attach it. And then one time I did that and I was like, and so I like quickly threw the lines back around and clipped it back in because
I'm glad that I don't climb sticks anymore, because I used to do that shit all the time.
Yeah.
Let me take this linesman belt off to get around these limbs and I'll climb 3 feet and then I'm holding on for dear life with one arm and I'm running the linesman's back around.
So do you pick a tree with no branches between there and your destination, or you cut branches on the way up or what? Nothing.
No.
So how do you get around branches?
I told you there's that link with the gate on it.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So all you do is when you get to the branch, you unscrew your gate, you pull your rope out through that opening, take your rope off, and the linesman is on. So you're always attached. Linesman on, always attached to the tree. You never unattach from the tree. And then pull that rope back around, put it back through the gate, twist your gate closed, restart.
So you use that the whole way up. I don't. I linesman the whole way up.
Well, yeah, but I'm one sticking. So I have to have that rope the whole way up, because I have to hang from it to reset my stick.
I got you there, because you're not going to, I guess you could hang from a linesman. That'd be an uncomfortable way to sit.
Yeah, you couldn't.
You don't think so?
No.
Not hang from it. You're going to.
Well, I mean, you'd be stuck to the tree. You're right, because even if you bear hug the tree, there's no tension on that rope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right.
You couldn't do
I'm glad we're having this conversation. You probably just saved my life.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Because my dumb ass will be up there like, okay, and then I'm done.
Yeah, because I could see you right now 30 feet high at the end of your rope and you're 6 feet away from your palm tree because you rappelled down and has that bend.
Yeah.
But like trees, when you're coming down, a lot of times you want to come down here. The tree has a different idea and it'll swing you around. You just let it, you literally just let it happen. Like you just kind of kick away from the tree, get to a point where the tree wants you to go, and then you just continue to rappel.
And that's one thing I'll tell you about not rappelling, but just general saddle hunting, since you're getting into it. But like when you finally start doing it and the tree has a bend, you want to make sure your platform is on the other side of the bend, because if you set up your platform in a curve like that and you're hanging down, you'll never be able to touch your platform.
Yeah.
It's a huge pain in the ass. You always want to be on the other side.
Yeah. And not only that too, but when you're in the saddle and the tree has a bend a certain way, it's going to want to draw you that way.
Yeah.
So left or right.
Gravity is a bitch.
Gravity is a bitch. And when that tree is away from you, which actually sometimes I do prefer, but when you try to get around it, it'll try to whip you around it. So, there's a lot of tricks though. One of the more comfortable saving tricks too is if you have a tree that's leaning to the right and you're on your platform, and take your tether on it, instead of putting it in the middle of the tree, move it all the way to the left of the tree.
Yeah.
Compensate for that. Yeah.
And then that'll hold you straight, and you will lose so much tension in your hips that way. And you're not fighting it the whole time with your feet and your legs. So there's so many things, dude. And there's videos out there like you can learn.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's also like, I think we're all a little bit different, because I watched plenty of videos on it, and some of the stuff they do, I don't like. And so I get up there and I kind of have my own style, but I don't lean as much as probably most people do. I'm more of a sitter.
Are you tighter to the tree, or are you more away
I'm
from the
hugging
tree?
it. I'm like my
Okay,
face.
so
My face is on the tree. Like I'm like sitting out like this.
You're tight.
I have years
I
of
like being away from the tree a little bit.
yeah.
I mean, I like it, but I also like sitting.
I still sit. Yeah, tighten that bad boy down.
But like the leaning back, I don't know. It's like, I guess that's one thing. Does your one stick have a bend in the? Okay, because I think that's super important.
The top of mine's called the Monarch, and it has a flat. I don't know if it's 11 inches wide or what it is, but it's flat, probably 3-inch by 11-inch piece, and then attached to that is a 3 by 11-inch angled piece. That's like 30 degrees, I think, angled.
Yeah.
So you can keep your feet on that angled platform.
The angle
when you're hanging
is key.
100%.
The other thing I like too about my cruiser platform, because it's so big, is I can actually stand up with my back to the tree and run the rope across my chest. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's nice because I can stand and lean against the back of the tree.
Yeah.
With, nothing.
A lot of guys do that, but
I like it. And I like it too. It depends on where my field of fire is. I mean, it's like,
right.
If it's usually I want to be whatever I'm shooting at, I want it to be in front of the tree. So I can hide behind the tree. And I found that to be more effective than like any camouflage you can have.
100%.
Because it's as long as you're not moving a bunch, they're really not going to see you.
I had a deer at 11 yards this year, and I climbed the entire way up the tree with my one stick on the back side of the tree, and that deer stood there the entire time watching me. I did not figure me out.
I didn't do that, but I had plenty of moments where I'm behind the tree and the deer was literally at the base of the tree, like smelling around, but it didn't know where I was, except that fucking doe.
It's funny, but then there'll be times where there's deer out in front of you, and you know how you're like working around the tree as they work in front of you.
Oh, so yeah, just trying to stay hidden.
And then you get so far and you look back behind you and there's a deer standing there watching you do the whole thing.
Dude, it's like the other, like when you come this morning, I hate morning hunts, but when you come up in the morning and sit and like you're not moving at all. And then as soon as you can see a little bit, and then you're like, all right, and you start looking around and she was 14 feet behind you, standing there looking at you like, what is this thing?
Yeah.
And then you move and it's over. And you just it's like, I just sat in the woods for 2 hours before sunrise.
That's why I don't do it anymore.
I don't either. I only hunt the evening. I don't hunt mornings at all.
I mean, I'll hunt mornings. I'm not going in the dark like that. Well, not unless I have perfect access.
Yeah, I think it's
the perfect setup, because what is the point of me sitting in the tree putting my scent throughout the woods for an hour?
You smell?
Of course I smell. Everyone smells, right?
I smell.
You smell. I smell. Gus smells. And it just doesn't, I don't know. I've done it my whole life, and I could feel a freaking dump truck of times that I've been blown at.
Yeah.
Before daylight, before I can even shoot the deer. So why am I not leveling the playing field?
Right.
Why am I going in prior to dark when a deer can see me, a deer can smell me? Yeah. I can't see them. I can't smell them. I can't kill them.
They could be right there.
Right. Yeah. They could be right there.
You could shoot them before you even got to the tree if you can't. Yeah.
100%.
I get that.
But there's a tough part there where certain setups where I have good access and I need to be in early, I'm in there early.
Yeah.
But other times where it's like, if I'm going in blind or something,
I'm going in blind. Dark. I'm definitely not going in the dark.
Yeah.
And
if you know where, like bedding areas, if you know where you can safely come in and out without disturbing, like, that's a different story.
You got the perfect wind.
A lot of times in public land, it's like, most of the times we have a day maybe to do some scouting. If that.
Usually it's like we get there at 3 for the briefing and they're like, go hunt. Like, I haven't been in here yet. I don't know.
Oh, for the lottery hunt.
And that's the other thing too about like the having a stand set up. I now I realize I learned a lot. I think I've learned more this year personally hunting than like my entire life, mainly because of the saddle. Like I have the ability to go literally anywhere I want. Mm-hmm. But another big one was fabric softener. Like I used Irish Spring soap, which I've learned. Someone sent me a reel where they would shave Irish Spring soap, put it in their garden, and would keep deer away. It's like, well, I literally smell like that. And so I quit using Irish Spring soap, but also like fabric softener in your washing machine. So, okay, we don't wash our hunting clothes with it, but it's still in there. Mm-hmm. So it gets on there, and because you're so used to using it, you can't smell it. And that's where everybody uses those pellets now and the liquid.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, oh, it smells so good when it comes out. Gus and I have had this conversation because we both quit using it. I don't use fabric softener at all. The worst part about it is your towels. Like when you get out of the shower, your towels smell like the belt from your dryer. But outside of that, that has changed my hunting epically because my boxers smelled like fabric softener or whatever.
Yeah.
So we don't use it at all.
Yeah.
Like none. And I think that's what's made me so invisible this year. I saw more deer this year than I've ever seen in South Carolina. And
Yes.
We also hunted
but not being tied to a
different places than we have previously.
Yeah.
That's true, but not being tied to a location.
Yeah.
That's where your stand
I think
is.
that's where the key to all this is
100%.
because you can go wherever you
I can
want.
go wherever
you
I
can,
want.
You can go where the deer are
Yeah.
rather than going in the woods and hoping a deer comes to you.
I can literally walk and find a trail and walk the trail and then be like, no, I'm going to set up right here.
Let me ask you, do you ever find now, this is funny because it's the opposite than it used to be for me. Do you ever find yourself standing in the woods with that just blank stare of,
Yep.
okay, I can climb
Yep.
any of these trees now.
Yeah.
What's the perfect one?
Yeah.
And you sit there and go, okay, I can get up that one, but I can't cover that trail over there. Where before, if I had a climber on my back, I'd look around and go, okay,
one.
that's the only straight one.
Yep.
That's the one I'm climbing because I can't climb these other 50.
The other thing I've learned too is that now that I have the ability to easily move, there's been times that I've climbed up at a tree, like I've picked a tree and I climb up and it's 2:00 in the afternoon. And I climb up and I get up there and I'm like, this is a shit vantage point. And I can look around because I'm higher. I don't know about PA, but like where we live, everything on the ground is about chest high.
Mhm.
So when you're standing in chest high, whatever the fuck it is, and you're looking at trees, you can't really tell. And then when you get up there and you can see all the game trails where stuff's moving, and it's like that tree would be better.
Yeah.
I can easily climb back down, go over there and climb up that tree. Where if you're on a climber and you're clink, you know, everything's
Just sweating my fat ass
sweating
off.
your ass off. And then you're worried about the platform falling.
Yeah.
You're trying to pull it up with your toes.
Wait
and
till
it's
you're
like,
repelling.
You're doing like ab
We were
exercises.
talking about
Yeah.
that today.
Now you can
I've
get
hunted
down
on a
in
climber.
seconds.
Yeah. And that's the reason I'm going rappelling.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the gradual step. I don't recommend anyone starts rappelling. I mean, you
I wouldn't either. No, I would not.
Yeah,
I would
right.
100% not.
Yeah.
I went the baby steps 100% of the way through over like 8 years.
I want you to get 3 sticks and a platform and a saddle, and I want you to climb 3 sticks, set up your platform, and then saddle hunt out of that. And I want you to do it for a season,
Mhm.
and then look into rappelling.
Yeah, you definitely have to do baby steps. I went from, the guy that always hunted ladders and a climber was my mobile setup to sticks and a lock on, which I liked, a full size lock on, whatever. But it just got so much pain in the ass hanging that lock on out every time. And they suck to sit in, dude. They're the most uncomfortable thing in the world.
They suck, and they all lean forward.
They always did. They're just, it doesn't matter. They're not comfortable.
I'll tell you this: if you're a tree stand, if you're a stand ladder hunter, hang on. If that's what you do, when you get into a saddle or when you get into a climber, and you're like, well, this is dope. I can climb any tree. So that feeling right there, if you skip the climber and go straight to saddle, I don't know that you'll appreciate it as much. But if you go to climber then saddle, you'd be like, I'm an idiot. I just spent how many years of my life wasting time?
Yeah.
The saddle is a game changer. And people that talk shit about it, you're just an idiot.
They're just,
You're just dumb.
Yeah, they're ignorant.
And I'll never have that conversation with you about mechanical broadheads, but
I don't use a mechanical broadhead.
I thought you did.
No, it's a hybrid.
Oh, it's but anyway, it's got a bleeder. But yeah, you had like I'm a huge. I'm so glad you're getting into it.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited for the flexibility of just like having the kit and just grabbing that bag and my bow and going wherever the hell I want.
If you buy me a 1 stick, I'll give you my platform, and otherwise, I might give you.
He'll give it to me.
Yeah, he will. And if he doesn't, I have one. I can
stop it.
I have so much extra stuff. It's ridiculous.
This community is full of enablers.
Yeah, it really is.
It really is, dude. It's like
that's what I love about it.
Isn't it crazy though? Because there is something that is like, it not to use the word game changing, but it is a game changing type evolution in the way people hunt.
Sure.
And everyone's so eager to tell everybody about it, so everyone does what they do.
You know what I appreciated about a lot of the vendors that had some sort of product related to saddles today is, and we didn't talk to all of them, but the ones that we did, none of them, they were very excited to tell you about their product,
and they all hate Cruiser.
But they were all very quick to say, "Hey,
fuck Cruiser."
I spent a good time over there
Walk
today.
around and see the other ones. Like,
Yeah.
go try some other things. Make sure this is what you like, or another one isn't what you like, because everybody's different. They weren't super hard. Like, we bought the tethered stuff today, and like I could have easily sat there and said, I recommend these bags for you. I recommend, I really think you should get these sticks. Didn't do any of that at all. He's like, Matt told him, he's like, well, I've got some sticks and platforms, and I'm considering going one stick. And the guy was like, well, you should just use his stuff. Like, I'm not going to sell you.
Yeah, he wasn't like, well, have you seen the one? Like, they're the one. He didn't say any of that.
No, he was just like, you should definitely use his, see what you like first.
I think the benefit is we walked into this conversation knowing a little bit. So I think a new guy, like when Cruiser got me because
they're going to get you.
They got me.
That's why on their boards, when you walk in the tethered booth, the 3 things that they show up there with values, they're all complete kits.
Complete kits, right?
By the way,
like $600
for people that don't know what they're doing.
By the way,
they have one that's $8.99.
Here's what you need.
Yeah, you need this. You want how much money you got? You want the premium? You want the best shit ever? $8.99.
Is that really a bad deal though, too? Because think about it, guys that don't know.
I'm going to spend way more than $800 completing my setup.
Let me tell you something. I overheard a conversation from somebody that was working the tethered booth today, who said they did almost $100,000 today.
Yeah,
you think about it.
Yeah,
how much are those kits?
I mean,
some of them are upwards of $600.
Yeah, the top one was $800.
So if they made 15 sales today plus some ad hoc onesie twosies, very easy.
But the other thing too is we haven't discussed in the pocket, but we've talked mutually amongst each other. But Tethered has not had the ability to do sales for years. Mm-hmm. Like they have that shit's not cheap. No, like if they're not selling to you an $800 product that costs them $100. Yeah. That's not the case. They're probably, I don't know what they're making, but I would guess 40%.
40% would be what I would think.
Yeah. So sometimes if you're sweet talking them, they might give you a 10% discount. They have a 10% discount at the show right now. Mm-hmm. But if you buy it online, there's no discount. And it's not
rarely ever.
There just isn't. And so for them to do what they did I'm not going to say it, but for them to do what they did for us, amazing. Unbelievable. Yeah. And it's like, but any other product, you say we got this % off, you'd be like, no, it's not. Like we offer that % just for listening to the podcast, East Coast Podcast. Maybe not that. I just ruined it and said what it was.
That's all right.
But anyways, like they don't do it, and for us to be like, we told them the sob story about my issue with Cruiser, and like I gave them everything, and they were like, we want you, not necessarily they want Whiskey and Whitetails. We just want you as a human, as a customer.
Yeah.
And so they worked with us and we bought 2 and we're going to get a 3rd one.
For seaweed.
But you had mentioned one thing that I wanted to ask. So we were talking about, you said something about the hunting community, it being enablers to trying to help each other and stuff like that. Yeah. Like if you don't have something, so as a guy, right? Like, so imagine what would your life be like without the hunting community? What do you think?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I'd still be hunting out of...
Well, say you don't know how to hunt and there's no hunting community. What would your life be like?
Dude, I'd probably be dead. I'd probably be a drug addict.
Right?
Dude, I'm a very addictive human being.
Well, I know. And a lot of humans are. But like if you have any kind of trauma or like...
I've never done a drug in my life, but I feel like I would have to at some point.
Right? Like you had a bad upbringing or whatever's going on in your life and you don't have the hunting community...
I honestly, I don't know what I would do without hunting.
It wouldn't be good, right?
It's been ingrained in me since I was so young. Yeah. And it's like, what would you fill that void with? I was into sports a lot, but like that ends at some point. Maybe I'd get more involved and be like crazy softball guy now. I don't know. I really don't, because it's the fall time. So what are you doing in the fall if you're not hunting?
So I ask you that because if you look at, we have a lot of veteran followers and listeners. And so like, if you look at that, those guys that aren't into hunting, they just kind of like whatever, and they're just hanging out, or maybe they want to get into hunting and they're listening to this podcast. And the reason that we're so adamant about working with these veteran charities that are in the outdoor space is because of what you just said, right? Like these guys they're missing something in their life. What am I going to do? The hunting thing is crazy. And it's one of the few communities that I'm involved in personally. Even the gun community isn't as cool as the hunting community. Like the hunting community is nuts. Like today was the first time I'd ever seen something weird, and that was that guy pulling the product off. But
that was strange. I've never seen that.
That is weird.
And the only reason I probably wouldn't even notice, but Jeff had told me so to sum it up, it's a competing industry And so if you own a company that's in the same industry, so anyway, he's walking around looking at stuff and he saw something he's never seen before. And the guy pulled it off, didn't want him to look at it. And I was like, I didn't believe him. I was like, okay. And then I walked over there and I'm wearing a Vantage Point archery hat. And the guy literally, I saw it because Jeff wanted to, he's like, I just want to see what it looks like. So I went over, I was going to take a picture of it. And so I walked over and looked at it and the guy literally reached up and grabbed it and pulled it back.
And I'm like, I need to be your spy tomorrow.
You should. I've never seen that before.
I've never seen that either.
And that's not common.
That's weird because we just talked about how saddle community
are the opposite.
Are the complete opposite. But, in all fairness with the saddle thing, and especially with tethered, like tethered really did bring saddle hunting back. I mean, they really are. They're the guys that brought it back.
100%.
And these other guys really are flourishing off the fact that they did that. So, like, if it wasn't for the community starting to grow and make things like more options and whatnot, they really wouldn't have a business. They wouldn't have what they have. So like
we had dinner tonight with a guy that works with tethered and like he's getting ready to take it to the European market. And it's, they're like expanding everywhere, which is crazy. They're not allowed to bow hunt. And so they're going to rifle hunt.
I thought that was totally backwards.
That's weird.
Until he said it again.
Because most places allow you to bow hunt, but not rifle.
A lot of places, a lot of countries, it's I
gotta pee. I'll be back.
Y'all, it's an
ethics thing,
an efficacy thing. Like they feel that a firearm is more efficient.
Well, but
I mean, I could see that in like Africa.
Go pee. Leave me alone.
Dude, the Africa thing is the total opposite of that. The guy, I don't remember his name, but he went. Tell him about that. Went to Africa and killed everything with a bow.
Yeah. So the guy that studied the broadheads, he what is his name? Damn it. He's the one that got me sold on single bevel broadheads, and it was it was the Meat Eater podcast, right? And they had a guest on, and I used to remember the episode number, but he talks through the scientific like studies that they've done on broadheads and discussing everything from like how the arrow is weighted and where the weight is distributed on the arrow, and trying different broadheads and shooting all of these like big animals that you find in Africa, and finding like the success rate with like single bevel broadheads versus other broadheads. And he was able to, he was able to tie it in like all the way to the, what do you call them? Damn it. It's this historical period where we still find a lot of the broadheads, and we find like, God damn it. There's a word for it. And I'm
like archaeological stuff.
Yeah.
Or what are you talking about? Yeah.
Hey, Matt, what's the name of the time period with the broadheads that we still find today? And that guy linked it to that Clovis points. Okay. So, and it was just super fascinating. Like the amount of scientific research they put into just how pointy shit moves through an animal. It was wild.
Yeah.
But it was really fascinating. And it's,
oh shit!
I don't remember
God dang!
Why are we talking about that?
I don't know.
Oh, because we were talking about
ethics of
the whole
using
ethics.
Yeah, and he basically proved that it's ethical. But the problem is like any
easy.
Any most people can shoot a rifle ethically, technically, but to shoot an animal with a bow. So I think the unethical part comes in the human
skill set of
the human is the unethical part. It's not the
bow, it's the Indian, right?
And so
as they say,
exactly, yeah. And
are you still allowed to say that? Or is that?
It doesn't bother me. Wow. Doesn't bother me. But we've done lottery hunts before. Were you? No, it was Bear Island.
Will that come through here? Since you're not recording on the mixer?
Yeah, it'll come through. That's recording everything.
All the sound is going through.
So we hope. Like if you're listening this far, we don't even know for sure that anyone can even hear this far. So if you're listening this far, you're doing good. It looks from my vantage point here, it looks like we're good. But I don't know. We've never done it before, so
we'll find out.
But so I got a lottery hunt at Bear Island, which is you can't hunt there. And it's gator infested. I mean, they are fucking everywhere.
I thought you were gonna say it was gay.
It's not gay. It's actually pretty cool. Not that gay people aren't cool. I have
What if the gators are?
Dude, I went to PBR with Seth, gay guy. Him and the wife went to professional bull riding. Had a great time.
Yeah.
So
you don't have to defend yourself.
I'm just saying, like,
drank some PBRs.
I have a black friend and a gay friend. This is what I was talking about in the car ride.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, calm the
Yeah,
fuck
maybe
down.
I should take over the conversation.
It's a joke. Well, the point being, so Bear Island. So we went out. I went out there for a lottery hunt, and I've never seen. There's nowhere in the world, I don't think, that has mosquitoes like they do there. It's like an, what's that word? Archipelago or the Arca.
You're talking about a chain of islands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that, but like not inhabitable. I mean, some of the islands are like 6 foot wide, but it's just a ton of islands and it's all flooded area. And anyway, so I was sitting there in the brief, and the lady's like, the first thing out of her mouth was like, how many bow hunters do we have? And the tag was for rifle. So I'm like, I could bow hunt. That'd be pretty cool. I was like, can I can bow hunt? I was like, the thing said rifle. She's like, no. There's no bow hunting here. It's unethical. We only use rifles on Bear Island. And I was like, yeah, your DNR, I'm just going to let you. Never mind. Sorry. I just was questioning.
Should have said, what about crossbows?
Right. But like all these old rednecks are looking at me like they're confused. Like, I couldn't tell if they were looking at me like, are you for real? You're going to shoot a bow? Or if they were looking at me like, are you going to challenge her on it being unethical? I didn't know, but I just decided to just eat it.
Yeah.
But it's crazy, man, that people say stuff like that. But it's definitely human error.
Well, that's because you let them say that. It's your fault.
I let a lot of people say a lot of shit that I shouldn't. But in my old age, I've learned.
Isn't that just how this world works?
I'm not interested in fighting anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have it in me. Just tired.
It's exhausting.
I just want to hunt, ladies. Just give me the brief.
I'm still stuck on the word for a chain of islands, and I knew what you were talking about, but I don't remember.
I can spell it. I just don't know how to fucking say. Archipelagia.
Yeah. Oh.
Somebody right now is yawning at their. Sorry, I'm not a geology major.
Yeah.
Which is also wrong. It was geography, but
yeah.
How long are we in? Can you read that?
No, I don't even know where.
An hour
and 36 minutes.
36 minutes.
That is little.
Wow. I'm down to keep going. This may just be for us. None of this may save. I don't know.
We'll find out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is there anything else that we need to talk about the Great American Outdoor Show?
I mean, we really did focus, and this is kind of the focus every year on like the archery hall.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, because
how often do you see that much archery?
That's what I wanted to mention earlier. Is how often do you go to a show where in one big room you have tethered, cruiser, Lancaster archery.
Lancaster, that's pretty cool to see a Lancaster. I've never seen a Lancaster.
Like, I mean, if you're a major player,
yeah,
and you're in archery, and you're not in that room,
and there are some.
It's because you're probably in another room.
They're in the other room. Latitude Outdoors. They're in another room.
Yeah,
they do saddles. Yep. Wild Edge is in the archery hall. That's another one that does saddles.
I will say the archery hall is definitely the best room.
1000%. And I mean, that's probably because what we like.
It's what we enjoy.
It's what we enjoy.
Could you imagine being a gun, like fuck art? I'm only a gun hunter. Like, what do you,
dude? Okay, cool. Walk around and go look at all these other guns.
I just
CVA.
We have some friends.
Dude, I kind of like the muzzleloader.
I've killed deer with everything other than my bare hands, and I think this year I'm going to do that Desert Eagle.
I've killed them with my bare hands.
I technically have as well. I finished a deer with my bare hands, because I didn't bring a knife or a pistol, and I'm like, all right, and I'm looking at her, and I'm like, this sucks, and her fawn's like, what are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing over there? And I'm like, shit,
mommy.
And
shush. You sit over there and shush.
I got some horror stories.
Like, lucky I don't have a tag for you too.
I'll be back for you next year.
Did you know that in Canada you can get a fawn tag? Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Well, not for deer though, can you?
Yeah, that's what John was talking.
No, he was talking about moose.
Either way, you can get a moose calf tag.
You can get a calf tag
in Canada, and he was like, "That's what I'm going to do."
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly that. Can
that's
you imagine how tender that shit is?
Dude, work. Did you listen to that podcast we did with him with John Schneider?
No, I have not.
Dude, wild. He's talking like the stuff he talks about is like, he's like, yeah, I get a tag for a shotgun hunt, and so it's like my life is shotgun. It's all I care about. And he's like, I hunt with a shotgun. And so it's he just whatever tag he gets, he's like, fuck everything. I'm fully immersed into this one thing. And so he got this calf tag, and he's learning about like where what's a female moose called? Is it still a cow?
Yeah, they believe it's a cow.
Well, I guess so if it's a calf. So he's like, where do cows hide their young? So he's like, where can I go scout? And it's like,
dude, that's a dangerous game to play.
No shit, dude.
Fuck yeah,
no shit. Could you imagine? That's like, I don't know how many of you have seen a moose in real life, but they're the size of your garage.
Yeah.
They're massive.
Let me tell you something. The first time I saw a moose in person, I was on my way up to the Boundary Waters to canoe with my son's Boy Scout troop. And I was so shocked by the sight of the moose for the first time and its size in a 15 passenger van full of scouts where I should be a much better example. I said, holy fuck, you see that moose? Like loud is like really loud. And we were driving so fast, nobody else really saw it.
And all these Mormon kids were like, what?
No, kids. But luckily only like a couple parents, like a couple adults heard me. But yeah. Dude,
what's your son's name?
Gavin.
They all went, Gavin, your dad's cool as shit.
I saw a kid today that said, it said, kill the damn deer. And he was probably 8 years old. He was wearing a hat that said, kill the damn deer. And I was like, I wanted to go up to him like, where'd you get that hat from? One, and two, like, who's your dad? I want to shake his hand.
Yeah. I bet you he heard that from his dad.
Probably. It's probably his dad's dad was like, you like that?
Yeah.
He's still moving. Just kill the damn deer.
Kill the damn deer.
Yeah. Which is actually, that's a great hat
for beginner hunters. I should have. Now I regret that I didn't ask him.
Yeah. Maybe we can find one tomorrow.
Or we'd make our own.
Yeah. Duh.
We could do
I know a guy.
We both have really long names, so we could do Whitetail Distraction Whiskey Whitetails Kill the Damn Deer. It's just this giant
fucking hat.
We have to get like the MAGA hats that are like 45 inches tall.
Oh man,
I said 45 because he was the 45th brother.
We could just patch it the whole way.
I told Jessica today. I said I wish we had a secondary logo because I bought some some flasks and some other stuff to engrave just for seaweed to have some other stuff to sell. Her name is so long. There's no good way to put it.
I'll tell you this, listeners. If you can come up with a Whiskey and Whitetails WW logo that doesn't look like Weight Watchers or two W's blended together to make it look like a crosshatch pattern, if you can come up with a cool WW logo, we'll give you a $500 gift card.
Yeah, sold.
Deal.
100%.
And just I think WW. And I think that we could go to Fiverr and pay less money on Fiverr to get someone to make us a logo, but I'm going to put it out to y'all first. If you can come up with a logo that we like, just because you submit a logo doesn't mean we're going to take it. But if you have a logo that we like and we're going to use, we'll give you $500.
You have to spend $300 to $500 on Fiverr or Design Crowd to get enough entries to find something original, because a lot of them come out of other countries and India, and they copy shit and then submit
a Whiskey and Whitetails like emoji type deal. And here's the thing: the antler part of it. Don't even try. One antler, we'll take. We'll take one antler.
I'm not interested in two antlers.
Maybe some kind of Glencairn or a whiskey ball, something that's cool. I don't know.
Two antlers.
Two antlers, deer head. We actually today, I didn't do it. I might do it tomorrow. But I was like, I'm going to make a reel of every company that has antlers in it, and I was just going to take a picture of every single company that has antlers in it, and I was going to make a reel and just fly every company with antlers at the show.
You know who doesn't?
You. Yeah.
There's a podcast we listen to.
You know how hard it is to get somebody to draw antlers? They can't do it.
Yeah.
We put out a ton of we've paid so much money to try to get a logo made, and they come back and I'm like, here's 45 pictures of a whitetail deer. Try again. And it's like they look like Sonic the Hedgehog.
That's
I'm like, what the fuck is all this?
That's
a red stack.
That's a mule deer.
What is this? Yeah. I don't understand why it's so hard for people to
Whitetail.
The other thing too, we get tagged in a ton of mule deer posts, and I think people are trying to get us.
Yeah, it's like,
but like, luckily I know the difference. Like I can see it between an orange and banana. Yeah. I know the difference, but I think a lot of people don't.
So a couple times we've submitted stuff to Design Crowd, which is just a crowdsourcing website for graphic art and graphic design. And I can't tell you how many times we've gotten a submission. It's like, that's cool. That's also Buckmaster's fucking logo.
That's literally their logo. You literally took that off. Like, you think we're not going to notice?
That one's cool. Also exactly the same as Buck Commander, just flip the other direction.
We have another company.
Are you just begging for us to get sued?
our old company, I'm not going to say the name, but if you were to Google our old company and click images, all you'll see is design crowd submissions of shipping. I'll show you when we're done. It's appalling.
So wait, what's wrong? What's wrong with the Pitcairn and the antler that you guys do?
Nothing's wrong with it. I think it's
not sick.
Do you? So I don't get any feedback, so I don't know what the fuck. Yeah, I don't mind it. It doesn't bother me.
The episode we did with you guys, the way Austin did the picture.
Yeah, I remember.
Dude, I freaking lied.
You do like it?
I thought it was sick.
Well, that's easy. So what I actually did is I took a Glencairn and an antler.
Was it Glencairn?
And I put it in a photo box and I took a picture of it and I put it in Photoshop, and all I did was add a layer to cover it and I just blacked the layer out. So it's a real antler and a real Glencairn. Nobody designed that.
If you can, do you have that in a file format?
Yeah, I've got plenty of it.
Jessica might be able to turn that into engrave that on.
I might have it on there. I don't know. I've definitely got it at home. I can send it to you.
Yeah, I really like the look of that.
If you like that, then if other people, nobody tells us fucking anything. The only thing we get is
like when he
corrections. Yeah, you like that?
That was sick.
Okay, I did too. I thought it was cool.
I mean,
and I was like, they use the. So that one's not the actual black image. That's the real picture. So that picture I turned just into a black image. Yeah, yeah. And like on our YouTube in the bottom right, our watermark is that on YouTube.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, well, maybe
personally, I like it. But yeah, I think you do need to come up with something.
You gotta have something.
What if the W&W? What if you add can you add the and sign in there for the W&W? Would that make it look better?
I don't like the way it looks.
Just WW.
W and I don't know. I don't like the way it looks.
It's kind of weird one to do.
I have to. It's like
just put a W with a little squared.
Like I care what people think a little bit, but I also care what I think. Yeah, W squared might be cool if you were. So here's the thing: the guy that did my phone. I'm sorry, sir. My phone's over here. I can't look you up and tell you correctly, but he the elemental signs for elements, like carbon or whatever. Mm-hmm. He did one for whitetail hunting. It's sick. It's fucking dope.
Yeah.
Genius. So he followed us and I followed him back. And he has 30 followers. Followed him back and I was like, dude, your logo is sick as fuck. Yeah. Because it's a super periodic table of elements. And it's really cool. I can't believe I didn't. So then I'm like, well, could I, I don't know. But that's the $500 on the table.
I'm down for it.
And I'm actually going to clip that and put it into a reel and see if we can get.
Okay. I'll get my buddy that's a designer to do something, and then I'll submit it.
And I'm gonna be stringent as if I don't like it, it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So, but
it's probably one of the toughest things to come up with.
It's hard. We've had this company almost 4 years now, and we still haven't, because I still can't settle.
I wouldn't even do it. I just give up on it. I just find a way to stack whiskey and whitetails better.
Well, that's it like the orange hat. We just do whiskey, whitetails, no and. But it's, I don't know. But the name is cool because it's catchy. Like tonight when we went to dinner with everybody, this guy leaned into me. He was like, which one do you like most? And so to preface that, I was standing next to Gus and Alex from Vantage Point Archery, and we were talking, sitting just us three talking. And so we were all decided to go outside. And as we're all leaving, I was the last one out. And the guy was like, which one do you like better? And I was like, my brain was like, well, Gus is my best friend, so
I like him better.
And so I'm like, what do you mean? He repeats himself. I was like, which one do you like better? I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he was like, whiskey or whitetails? I was like, fuck, man. I don't know. I was like, I don't know. I've had whiskey today. I haven't had whitetail today, so I guess I like whiskey.
Right now it's whiskey.
Yeah. Catch me outside in October. It's gonna be whitetails.
Yeah.
But and that's the thing, when we go to events, it's constant. Everybody that walks by, whiskey and whitetails. Everybody just says.
We should set up the boom mic with the
and just make
the Zoom.
Should make that our podcast intro.
We should set up the boom mic outside the tent and connect it to just the Zoom and hit record and let record all day.
We should put a sign that says come say whiskey and whitetails in it. Just say that.
But I want it organic. I want because all day long it's like whiskey and whitetails.
Yes, it's funny.
Hey, look, whiskey and whitetails. Whiskey and whitetails. It's like all fucking day long.
It's nuts, dude. I know you're not going to come.
Whiskey and whitetails.
Well, you might come, but I don't know if you're going to go to Seawee. But if you do go.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah, but if you did go, all day long, you're like, there's another one.
I've just been gone 2 weekends out of 3. The last 3, I am on the shit list. Big time.
Dude, I don't get on shit lists, but last night, my wife, or this morning, she was like, I didn't sleep well. She was like, I always forget, but you haven't been gone in a while. And she's like, but I don't sleep well the first night you're gone. And so I read that and I was like, I haven't been gone in a while. When was the last time I was gone? Probably like 40 days ago.
Uh-huh.
So it's like for 40 days is a while. I haven't been gone in a while. And it's only 40 days. It's like, I don't know how she puts up with it. But she's also like, she
I
likes
used to travel like a week or two at a time for work.
Work's
I used to be gone a
work's
lot.
different.
That's different.
It's
Work's
not though.
different.
You're still gone.
No, I know, but it's work. Like,
Yeah,
what are you
like,
gonna
you
do?
get
Like,
paid to be
we
gone.
choose to be gone
Right,
this weekend.
right. Like the thing is, I'm
No,
gone
I didn't
having
choose.
fun while she's home taking care of the responsibilities at the house.
Wait till you have a kid. I heard it gets way worse.
Right. So like, that's kind of the whole thing playing into it.
I don't
you
have
know?
one. That's why I have 4 cats, because it's like, well, he's not here, but I got 4 cats to play with. So. And they're way nicer when I'm not home.
Let me tell you.
They don't not like me.
Yeah, the
but
cats don't ever mind when you're gone for a long time.
Well, it's not that they don't like me, but they definitely like her more.
Mm.
So like if she's not home, the cats are super nice to me. And then, but when I'm home and she's home, they're like, he's the weird guy that touches me. And like, she's not. She's like, quit touching him so much.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they live in my house rent free and I feed them and shit. I'm going to touch them.
If they're near me, I'm going to touch
I'm going
them.
to pick them up. I'm going to stroke their belly. Like all the things they don't like, I'm going to do it because you're mine.
All right, so you're saying if there's a pussy in the vicinity of
Pussy
you,
in my
you're
house, I'm gonna touch it.
You're going to touch it.
That's why I don't have friends bring their wives over. Just kidding. But
Careful. We're getting really close to Camp Hero in this.
no, we're not.
We're skirting the edge.
I didn't fall into a rock when I just went to go piss.
Not yet.
All right.
Those steps are mighty narrow.
He started it, to be fair. That was not me.
I did.
He started, and I'm not going to not answer.
I can tell you, as a father of 3 kids, it gets
Oh, we're going back. I was like,
Exponentially.
what the fuck? are you about to say?
exponentially more difficult, and you're sick. You're gross.
No, I just wondered where you were going, but I see you're changing topic.
Yeah. Yeah. Bringing us back on
Dude, put
course.
a hurting on. We got it halfway through a bottle of wild turkey. That's pretty
I'm not
good.
even doing my job.
Yeah. Well, I'm a
I poured that, and then I grabbed this Coke separately because just the Coke sounded good, and I was like, well, I could just pour that in there.
dude. I think
It's a last-minute decision.
Whiskey and Coke, bourbon Coke's pretty good.
It was.
You know,
good.
one of my favorite things is bourbon and sweet tea. And if you're listening to this and you've never tried bourbon and sweet tea,
You got to do it.
you gotta try it. It's just I don't know. It's delicious.
What's funny is a lot of guys come up here from the South and they want sweet tea and they don't realize like a lot of places you can't get
don't
sweet
have
tea.
Yeah.
sweet tea up
They
here.
do.
What do you got? We
It
do.
depends on where you
got
go.
sweet tea today.
Do you like sweet tea?
I do.
Yeah.
I
Why
don't
isn't
like
that a
unsweetened.
thing up here? I don't get that.
Why is unsweetened tea a thing?
I don't like hot unsweetened tea. Even like the
Who
Brits
drinks it?
Nobody.
But it's still around.
I will kinda. I will if I'm like, fuck it, I don't want water. I'll have some unsweetened tea. Like because we have work lunches all the time and they
Disgusting.
cater it and
You
they bring
disgust
sweet
me.
and unsweet tea. Well, it's because I mainly just drink water. I don't drink a lot of sugar. So
It makes sense.
and I'm like, well, unsweet tea sounds cool. And then I'll pour me some and I immediately am like, I
This is a
should
terrible decision.
should just drink
this
water.
is just muddy water.
Do you like hot tea?
No,
I like hot tea with milk.
it's called coffee.
Milk, really.
Drink
Yeah.
coffee.
Milk and hot tea is good.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I like
I like.
like an Earl Grey. Excuse me.
Yeah, there's a couple of like black teas, dark teas that I like. I
Yeah.
just drink them hot with some honey.
I've never been a tea guy.
Yeah,
My problem is I have like this that personality where I click into something and it's like my life consumes it. So I got to be really careful what I do. But the matcha tea thing or the espresso
Mhm.
thing, like people like espresso machines and the tamper and the
yeah. So
like, when I watch those videos, that's the closest I come to climax without actual sex. It's like, I watch those videos and I'm like, I don't want to fucking do that so bad.
I have
But I
had
can't do it.
an espresso machine like on my list of things to do and get into for a long time, and the more I learn about it, the further away it gets.
That's a scary road, dude. You think saddle hunting
while simultaneously making me want it that much more.
No, I know.
Because the more I learn about it, the more expensive the shit that I want to get.
Yeah, I
gets.
don't need
Have
another.
you
And
never
at this point,
seen-
I'm like at like a $2,000 espresso machine.
Have you ever seen cinematic espresso reels?
No.
I'm going to show you one tonight, and you're gonna be
I'm
like,
scared.
I see what you're saying.
They're beautiful.
It's sick, dude. And like
the
it's-
puck, they
oh my God, the
ground
way
stuff
the
in.
tamper thing, it's like
The way it gets wet and drips
from underside, like it comes from the outside and then it circles in and then it drips slowly, and it's beautiful.
If you could see
It's
the
an art form.
excitement from my side of the table looking at you guys right now.
100% of the
It
people
makes-
listening are like, "What are these idiots talking about?"
Yeah. Like me.
Yeah. You know, he blew the fuck up.
It makes you feel like this song makes you feel.
Yeah.
We used to do a segment where people would send us samples, and
It
then
makes me feel good.
y'all quit doing it for some reason, which is fine. But every sample we got, we would do just the sip. So we both had just one sip, and we give our review of one sip. So this guy that made it, Barbecue Bourbon and Barbells on Instagram, he's a Canadian. So his whole thing is like steak, lifting weights, and like being positive. And so he's got a great beard, good head of hair, and he like walks outside every morning and he's like, "Hey, I want you to have a good day today." Blah blah blah. But he does these reels. He's always he sits just like this with a microphone and a black shirt, and he says some funny shit. When we met him, I just liked him. I just thought,
he's cool dude.
This dude's gonna blow up because this is really cool stuff. He had like 200 followers. Again, my phone's over there, but I think he's like 40 to 60,000 followers.
Good for him.
Blew the fuck up. And so he made that for us for free. He does like voice, because play it again so you can hear his voice. Just the sip. Yeah. Instead of just the tip.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to my stepbrother, Lamar. His name's Lariat. Lariat Lamar.
Okay.
He goes by Lamar now, but because Lariat's too redneck, I guess. I don't know. He's a Green Beret. And so people are like, Lariat, and it's Lamar. They're like, "Oh, that's cool. It's like a black dude's name." Like, so he's cool now. But he came up with that idea. 399,000.
You weren't even close.
How many people is he
dude.
following? He's following 477 people, and one of those is us.
Wow, you must feel like
399,000.
you guys must really feel like you're on top of the world.
Well, he only got that because our
Because of you.
because we have 500,000 listeners. I got more listeners than CNN, baby.
Yeah.
No, we don't. But yeah, pretty crazy. And don't start death scrolling over there. We're in a podcast.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man.
I know. It's that time of night.
He opens Instagram. And he's just like,
it's Death Squad. It's just like my.
Wow, it is 12:30.
yeah, holy shit. It's 12:30. Let's wrap this up.
Yeah, we got to.
All right.
Well, anyways, great first day of the show.
Yeah, looking
Excited for
full
tomorrow.
Tomorrow's going to be.
We're glad we
freaking
did
insane.
this. Thanks for making us come up here. It's cool.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Glad you guys committed to it.
Yeah.
We're like, let's come to Pennsylvania and do this show.
Yeah.
It worked out good.
Yeah. We're excited. We're glad to be here. It's a good time.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing the podcast with us.
Yeah, man.
Thanks
Definitely.
for having me, and
Absolutely.
thanks for
Our pleasure.
including me in all this, and
Always.
Yeah.
We like y'all.
it's fun. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Cool. Thanks everybody for listening. Have a
Hopefully, you actually get to listen to this.
yeah, hopefully, yeah. Bye.